Sam is back. I am back. You look perfect. You look perfect.
Thank you.
You're perfect. It's pretty crazy. There's only been a couple perfect things in the universe, me being one of them, obviously. And you are definitely one of those things as well.
Beauty is in the eyes of the beholder.
Well, I'm not talking about how beautiful you are. I'm talking about how perfect you are. So that's
perfection is in the eyes of...
No, that's just with beauty. Perfection is just either you're perfect or you're not.
No.
You're perfect.
Well, maybe you have perfect sight.
Maybe it is. Maybe that's true. But this episode is not just about giving the beautiful Samantha Lopez, who was our guest.
That's what it's about.
That's what this episode is about.
Compliments. I want to see them in the comments. I want to see them on my Instagram account. Emails.
Keep going. Yeah, all compliments for Sam.
Voice memos.
Yes.
Appreciation videos.
Yes.
Parades.
Yes. With floats.
With floats.
Sam-based floats.
Sam-based floats.
Either
creative.
Floats of Sam or floats of things that Sam likes.
Oh yeah, I like lots of stuff.
She
like
likes
roller
lots
skating.
of stuff. Yeah.
That's pretty much it.
Blueberries.
Blueberries, yeah. A blueberry float would be awesome.
That'd be great. You love blueberries.
I also like pink peaches.
And she likes ice cream and pizza.
Yes, chocolate ice cream.
And pepperoni pizza.
Pepperoni pizza.
So all those things, guys, just make sure you flood Sam with all those things.
Those are the things I like.
She likes it. She deserves
massages.
it. And massages.
Yes.
Sex or no sex. That is her call, but good luck.
Mostly about the massage.
It is. But I'm glad you're here.
I'm glad to be here too.
I'm glad you're here. We have a unbelievable. Baby. Unbelievable.
I can't believe it.
We got a fucking movie, dog.
Okay.
My nigga, we got a movie for you today. Real shit.
What?
I got a movie for you.
Uh-huh.
Today's movie they made it for you.
For me.
They made it for you.
I haven't seen it yet.
You haven't seen it?
Is this going to be another thing where I think it's a movie and then it just ends up being a Black Mirror?
Maybe. I hope. That would be cool for me.
It's so stressful.
Yeah, so be stressed.
Okay.
I think you're going to enjoy this. They made this movie for you. I genuinely can't express that enough. I truly mean that. Mm-hmm. Did I cry?
You cried?
Did I? Maybe.
I don't know. I wasn't there. Did you cry?
I don't know either. Should we find out?
I guess so.
Do you think, because if I cry, do you think you're going to cry?
I don't want to cry.
But you don't know if it's happy. You don't know what the tears are for. You don't know if they're happy tears, goofball.
No.
You don't want no tears at all?
I guess we'll find out.
All right, well, don't cry.
Okay.
Promise me you're not going to cry.
I can't promise that.
Promise it.
You know that I can't promise.
Sam, fucking promise me you're not going to
I have control over my eyes.
Over your eyes? That's what it is? You ready?
Yes.
All right, beautiful. I'm wondering, should I let you guess or no? What do you guys think? They never answer.
Oh.
I always give them time, too.
I thought you were going to do like the Dora thing where you acted like they said whatever.
Well, no, that's what Dora does. I wait for an answer. Unlike that bitch who just speaks for people. Yeah. She's so rude.
Dora.
That little Mexican fucking whore is so rude, dude.
Wow, you got really in there.
Well, she's not. She's rude. I don't like rude behavior because rude behavior comes from whores. That's why.
Whoa.
Where do you think rude behavior comes from?
Anyone can be rude.
Not in my world.
Okay. Well, what's going to happen?
Either you're a whore or you're a bore. You understand me?
You know, that might be accurate.
All right.
Either a whore or a bore.
Either you're a whore or a bore in this world.
Those are the two things.
That's it. So you better fucking pick one, all right? And she picked Dora the Explorer, picked fucking wrong, let me tell you.
She picked whore.
She picked fucking whore, all right?
She could have been a bore.
She could have been, but she ain't cool enough. Sam, are you ready?
Yeah, I'm ready.
To hear this movie that you've never seen that they made for you?
They made it for me.
Movie starts.
Uh-huh.
This film is based on a true story. Still think it's a Black Mirror?
No.
You don't know, though. You never know.
You never know. Never know with Black Mirror. They're tricky.
They're tricky. Gloucester, Massachusetts.
Yeah.
That sounds right, right?
Certain. I don't.
But you know what I'm talking about.
It's not right, but
Gloucester.
I've heard. All the things you're saying are making it more confusing.
I just saw the movie too.
Yeah. Okay. It's in Massachusetts.
Yes. 1991.
Whoa, that's the year after I was born.
Yes, that's very important. They bring you up. So
they had to make a movie.
They had to. That's why it's crazy you haven't seen it. This movie's about you. We see a fishing dock. All these people working, doing like their dock kind of jobs. We see a city hall. Mm-hmm. You see all these names on a wall. dating back to 1600s. You just see like 1600, like 10, 1620, like in names, right? 1640, like up to 1700s, up to 1800s, up to 1900s, all these names, okay? And then come back to outside, you see statues of all these men at sea. And then like the credits are rolling kind of, I mean the credits are rolling just like this is just like shots of like this town, right? Cut to, it fades out. We see a crazy storm happening in the middle of the night. We see one of our leads, Diane Lane.
I love Diane.
Sam, what did I tell you in the car on the way here?
You said I loved everyone in the movie.
I said you what? I said you what?
That I love everyone in the movie.
And so far I am what? 1 for 1?
1 for 1.
Let's
I
keep
love
count.
Diane. Is she wearing a pantsuit?
She just woke up. She's in the middle of the night. She's in pajamas.
Wearing one of those cool linen outfits.
No. Boston, she's wearing like shorts and like a muscle shirt, tank top.
Ooh,
you know what I mean?
And it's 91.
Yeah. So it wakes in the middle of the night and she's yelling, Bobby. And she looks out her window and she wakes up in the middle yelling, Bobby. She looks out her window and there's no storm. She was dreaming it. Okay. And she sees this lighthouse that's in the middle of the night, the lighthouse like outside, because that's where they are. They're right by the sea. She gets all nervous. Credits start rolling. Okay. It's the middle of the morning now. Like now it's like, middle of the morning. It's the like bright in the morning, right? Early day. Okay. We see 2 big fishing boats coming in at the same time. They're coming into the port. All right. At one of the fishing boats, we see our lead, a young Mark Wahlberg. Marky Mark.
Okay.
2 for 2.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What is this movie?
The boat pulls in. You hear a guy go, line her up. You see our other lead, George Clooney.
Yo.
Sam, you thought I was playing. You thought I was playing today, didn't you? I told her in the car I wasn't playing with her ass today, and she thought I was fucking playing.
What's this movie?
The Perfect Storm.
Oh. I have no clue what this movie is. I'm glad I didn't have to guess it.
You want to guess from now?
No.
You know who the leads are.
Yeah, that's
you got your
even
3 leads.
More confusing.
I know, because you're like, why are these 3 together? And no one told me.
I didn't know that they had a Twister movie together.
That's so funny, nigga. I didn't know they had a Twister dog.
That is what it is it not? That's how I'm seeing it in my brain.
Bro, this movie killed in the box office when it came out. It had a budget of like
Twister
120 million.
great.
Had a budget of like 120 million. It made like 300 something million. Like it killed it. This movie's way better than Twister.
Really?
I think so.
I've never really seen Twister.
I seen Twister once,
That's
but
the one that people talk about.
I think Twister's a better movie. It's a better film possibly, but I like the acting and how good this is. Like the acting in this is what Twister ain't got the actors this has.
They had Helen Hunt.
Sam, did you hear what I just said? The 3 I just said? Sam, I'm not done. Those are the 3 leads. Those aren't that's not the supporting cast yet.
Oh damn. Okay.
Those are our leads.
All right, let's get into it.
But I'm 3 for 3 so far, right? How much do you like all 3 of those people?
I can give or take George.
Bro, he's one of the best actors. Have you not seen Gravity?
Yeah, I've seen Gravity.
Sandra Bullock's amazing, but he is like unreal in it.
He's great.
Oh my God. Oh, brother, where art thou?
Yeah, he's good.
He carries that.
He doesn't carry it.
He carries Oh Brother, Where Art Thou? Not that everyone else isn't great, but like he is the lead.
Okay.
What about the ER show?
I never watched ER.
I never did, but everyone said he was great in it.
Yeah, he's George Clooney.
He's good in everything. I can't believe you're a George Clooney hater.
I'm not a hater. I'm just indifferent.
How about Mark?
I love Mark.
And Diane.
Diane's cool.
Yeah, I like Diane too. She's done a lot of stuff. They're all young in this too. Well,
younger,
younger, not George, but he looks younger. You're like, oh, this is a younger George. This movie came out like 2003.
Yeah, because it has Mark in it. He doesn't
And he's
start
the lead.
acting until the early 2000s.
Also, if he's the lead in a movie like this, like,
Yeah.
this is a big budget picture with other stars.
This is when he's first ramping up.
Yeah.
This is when he's on his entourage shit.
Yeah, and also what helps, this movie is based in fucking Gloucestershire.
Massachusetts.
He can talk in his boss. He can talk like a Boston boy. I don't know how they talk.
Isn't that crazy? There's a whole market for actors who are from like specific parts of the country.
Yeah, because if like a movie or if like we're watching that show right now,
Yeah.
We Own the City on HBO. That's the show me and Sam are into right now. And a lot of the actors are from Baltimore.
Well, it makes you, if you're from Baltimore and you watch it, you're like, yeah, this feels real.
The accents are right. The way they look are right. They're eating the right chips. Like certain things are extremely accurate.
Really on point.
Yeah.
But it must be that way for all like for all the Massachusetts stuff, all the New York
Anything.
stuff.
Like if you're an LA person and you're actually from LA.
Yeah, it's a big deal.
We were talking about that with Brian Simpson and auditioning, how he auditioned for that Chris Estrada show that's based in LA, and he lost it to Jamar, the role of Jamar.
What we think.
Well, no, Jamar's in the show. Show's out.
But he said that he's pretty sure it's the same. It doesn't have a name.
It didn't have a role. He said he thinks it's that role, right? But he's pretty sure. But then again, obviously we were like, well, yeah. And then even he was like, but Jamar is from LA.
Yeah, it does.
He knows this.
It's not even just knowing.
He just gets it.
It's the vibe.
It's the energy.
As an actor, there's so much you can do, and then you kind of have to. There's something. Authenticity.
Well, if you're gonna play someone who's from LA or from Baltimore or whatever, it helps if you actually know how that person thinks.
Well, also if the subject matter is about the city.
That's what I'm saying. Yeah. And you already know that. I mean, that you're just way ahead.
Because there's some movies where it's like, oh, it's supposed to take place in Baltimore, but they don't do any of that, and it doesn't matter.
It doesn't matter because it's not about that. But then this show is about Baltimore.
Wedding Crashers, they're all supposed to be.
Yeah, but like that could have been saying that it could have been Maine, it could have been LA, it could have been anywhere.
It could have been literally anywhere.
Long Island. That could have been just a fancy part of anywhere.
Yeah, they didn't cast according to that.
No,
it had nothing to do with even the way that people look
or spoke or any of that stuff. Like the only thing that the homeboy said that was the little Baltimore was crab cakes and football.
Yeah,
that's what Maryland does. That's like the one little hint that like, oh, I guess this is Baltimore.
Yeah,
you know, but. It's interesting when like, oh damn, they went out their way to get a Boston nigga, and Mark Wahlberg's on top of the world. But I'm sure he reads the script and he's also like, oh, this is in my fucking wheelhouse.
Yeah. Well, that's also a big market. There's a lot of Boston movies being made.
Yeah, and it's a big budget movie, and you see who else is attached to it, so you know like, okay, this is gonna be a big deal. Mm-hmm. Just the fact that it's me and George and Diane Lane, like, oh, okay, and I'm not even done. Like, but like, damn, you're like, let's just say those were the first 3 names attached to it when he got it. You're definitely like, okay. Well, this could be big. I don't even know what the script's about, but just the fact that I know that we're 3 in it is big.
Yeah, it's huge.
So, the perfect storm. Cut back to Diane Lane. She's so happy. She's in her place. She's putting on her makeup. She runs downstairs. When she runs downstairs, like she lives above a bar, right? And she runs out the bar, and she's like, Bobby, Bobby! And she runs up to Mark Wahlberg, and she jumps in his arms, and they kiss like they haven't seen each other in forever. Wow. Okay? Other men are getting off the boat and they're kissing their family and hugging their kids. You can tell like, oh, they've been out for a long time.
Yeah.
I mean, they're fishermen. You know what I mean? You see one of our other leads or one of our other characters, the great John C. Reilly.
Really? Okay.
He's one of my favorite actors.
Guy.
Huh?
He's one of the boat guys?
Yeah, he's one of the men who works on George Clooney and his boat as well.
Okay, cool.
But how do you feel about John C. Reilly?
I love John C. Reilly.
He's like one of my favorites, bro.
It kind of confuses me that this whole movie.
Why?
Just doesn't.
Why?
It seems like, sometimes you're living and you're like, oh, maybe I'm from a different reality because things are different in this, or you like remember things differently than are real. I don't know. This movie doesn't seem like it really existed before.
What are you talking about?
It just doesn't seem real. Like I can't imagine that I missed this movie.
Oh yes, I can't believe you have either. That's what I'm saying. You do like all these people. It's pretty crazy.
Okay.
Also, how many people are in this?
I don't even remember advertisements for this movie.
That's crazy. There's a book about this movie.
There's a book about this movie?
I mean, the movie's based on the book. Mm-hmm. It's a true story.
Okay.
That's also what makes this thing real is that this isn't like, I'm not making anything I'm saying up right now.
I know.
It's not like, no. I mean like, unlike Twister, the movie Twister.
Yeah.
That's not a real movie. That didn't really happen. This really happened.
Yeah, that's true.
So, you see other men off the boat kissing their families, yada, yada. You see John C. Reilly, and he's looking around, and he goes, hey, have you seen my boy? Right? And then you see this old woman, and she goes, no, I haven't seen him. I'm sorry, honey. And then Mark Wahlberg sees the older woman, and he hugs her, and he's like, Mama. And it's his mom. Mm-hmm. All right? And he's like, oh, Ma, you're home safe, right? So you see George Clooney, he gets off the boat. And remember I said there were 2 boats coming in? Mm-hmm. There's another lady getting off, and she's the captain of the other boat, and she's a woman, right? Mm-hmm. And you've never seen Scarface, but she's the sister in Scarface. She's been in all these movies. She's a big actress. She's been in like so many movies. But if you saw her, you'd recognize her. You're like, oh, that bitch. Uh-huh. You know what I mean? So she's the other captain of this other boat. Her name was like Linda something, right? It's a real person. And they pull in. Our boys are all happy. Her boys are all sad. And they pull off a body. One of their homies died at sea.
Whoa.
Yeah, like you see just the contrast, right? Of like everyone, you see their boys are like, and they're seeing their families too, but they ain't like, because shit's real. They're all carrying a homie, you know what I mean? And George Clooney sees it and he's like, oh my God, not Ben. And she's like, yeah, we lost Ben at sea. And he's like, oh, and you can tell him and that captain, her are like friends, right? And they're talking about that. And then this other guy comes up, like a guy with a clipboard. Okay. And he starts talking about how much, like, yo, what are the numbers? Like fish, yada, yada. Like, how much did you catch? And George Clooney is like, yo, did you not see, like, why are you gonna ask her about numbers right now? Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, did you not see a body get carried off this boat? Like, have some fucking respect. And you can see that guy's like, my nigga, he looks and he's like, hey, Ben old Ben knew the job. Like, that comes with the job. Oof. Niggas die. How much did you fucking catch? Also, it lets you know, like, damn, the whole time I was watching, because I was high too, I was like, damn, this is really some niggas' life. Like, some niggas is fishermen, bro. And like, it's a part of the job that niggas die all the time.
That's crazy.
Crazy, bro. But everyone needs fish.
Yeah.
You say what?
You wouldn't think it would be that dangerous.
Oh, dude. It's so dangerous. And I'm not even talking about, take storms out of it. Let's say there were no storms.
Yeah.
It's so dangerous. It was like so dangerous, Sam, before the storm. Like, we'll get there. But you're going to be like, oh yeah, this is just a dangerous job.
Yeah.
So, they're giving their numbers, yada, yada. And, he says, like, you can tell he didn't have a good haul, George Clooney. And the guy with the clipboard kind of gives him some shit, like, all right, bring in your fish. I'm sure it's not going to take long. Like, he already knows. Like he's been not bringing in a lot of fish for a while now. We see all the boys unloading. Well, the credits are still rolling, mind you. We see all the boys unloading the fish, and they're like a well-oiled machine. It's really cool because you see like how they really do it. Like, Sam, we're not talking about we're talking like so much fish.
Yeah.
They're unloading thousands and thousands and thousands of, like, tons of these big swordfish.
Ooh.
Like, that's the kind of fish they catch.
Yeah.
Okay. You see, and there's like ice, and like, they have to stuff them with ice constantly, and like it's a whole process, and they're just like, and they're getting it going, and they're weighing them, and they're marking them, and they're putting more ice in them, and they're weighing them, they're marking them, and you see George Clooney is like, what the lady he's talking to, like his friend, the other captain, so much fish. She's bringing off barrels of swordfish.
Yeah.
He's not. So you see him getting like nervous, right? They weigh them all up, they mark them all up. Cut to, you see all the boys in line waiting to get paid. It gets to Mark Wahlberg's turn. He gets paid. He's like, he looks at the number. He's like, yo, you're a little short, right? And this guy, the dude with the clipboard's like, no. And he's like, what do you mean? I thought like this was an easy work. For sure I was going to get 3+. And the guy goes, well, first off, I get like 30% or whatever because it's my fucking boat. Your captain gets his like 50% that he has to use for all the things he has to do. And then you guys get this. Also, you're a rookie, so you got to pay for this. Like tackles, this bait, like this is what, you know what I mean? So he was like, so your shit comes to $2,000. That's what it is. Sign or don't, or give it back. Like, those are your options. And Mark Wahlberg's like, fuck. He signs, and the Diane Lane's like, it's okay. They walk off. You see another dude, George Clooney's in the back watching this, like, just such a good actor. You say it's like it's his fault.
Isn't Diane Lane too old for?
Yes, you do think that. No, but she looks great in this.
Okay.
She's very hot. But she is too old for him, technically.
It's just in my mind, it's so hard for me to imagine them as
she's supposed to be. She's
supposed to be older.
Yeah, we'll get to it.
Okay.
Because I thought that too. And then you find out the storyline of this relationship.
Okay. Cool.
So, but I also thought that. I was right there with you. Because you're like, right when you see her, like, oh man, she's like, it ain't, because she is hot. So you're like, yeah, I guess so. But like, he's a little younger than her. And then you go, and then when you find out, you're like, oh, okay.
Okay.
So, you see George Clooney, he's sitting there watching all this happen. He's kind of nervous, like, fuck, like I'm not bringing in enough money for these guys. You know, he's the captain. And another dude comes up to him and asks, like, yo, boss, did you plan on going out again this year? And he's like, George Clooney's like, I mean, I don't know. Hopefully we get, figured out, yada, yada. And he was like, okay, why? And he's like, well, because I was thinking about heading to Florida, maybe get some, I think there's something else down there maybe. And then George Clooney gets pissed and he takes it personal. He's like, what, you going to find a better captain? Oh, is that what this is about? And he's like, oh, come on, you know what it is, man. And then George Clooney kind of walks off. Like, he's so mad. Like, you can tell, like, I don't know the fisherman code, but, like, he takes that shit personal. All right? So, cut to, you see the dude with the clipboard talking to Billy. That's his name. George Clooney's name is Billy. All right? And he's talking to him about how little fish he brought in, and yada, yada. And this is a cold streak. This is, like, the third time in a row that he ain't brought in enough fish. and George Clooney's like, don't worry about it. Next time I'm going to hit the Grand Banks. I'll catch more fish than you've ever seen. I know it. That's the spot. And the guy's like, I doubt it. And then he's like, you've been there before. You haven't caught shit. What's going to make it different? He goes, well, then I'll go beyond the Outer Banks. All right? And the guy's like, not on my boat. He goes, oh, yes, I fucking will. He goes, what makes you think you're going to do that? He goes, because I catch fish. That's what I do. That's who I am. I know where fish are. And he walks away like don't, this is what I do, Cut to, we see he's like heading to the bar, and you see Murph, who is John C. Reilly. His name is Murph. He's outside the bar. And he's like, what are you doing here? He's like, getting drunk, waiting on my ex. And he goes, waiting on my son, too. I didn't get to see him today, at the docks. And George Clooney's like, damn, sorry, buddy. Well, give him hugs and kisses for me. And he goes, you ain't got to remind me to do that, Skip. I'll give him plenty. He walks in the bar. You see everyone in the bar partying. Mark Wahlberg's kissing all over Diane Lane. They are clearly, in love. Like, just new love. Just in love, bro. They're just all over each other, laughing, having a good time, One of the guys, you see one of the dudes, another actor you recognize. Like, some of these niggas, I don't know their name, but everyone in the movie is a recognizable actor.
Okay.
Every single person. So one of the guys, he's really mad he's alone. It's like the skinny dude. His name's Bugsy. And he's talking shit about the other guy that one black guy who's on the ship. He's Jamaican, who's Alan Payne, who was one of the kids on the Cosby Show. Not Theo, obviously, not one of the main kids. Do you remember when the cousin Pam came?
Yes.
She had friends. One of them was a guy.
Yes.
Him.
Whoa.
So he plays like this. So if there's not a single, there's not one person in the movie you don't recognize.
She was the best.
She was great. Cousin Pam was fantastic. And he was great.
Only one season.
Yeah, it was only one season, but he was in a lot, because he came over all the time. And he was one of her main friends. Yeah. And then her and Bill Cosby, him and Bill Cosby had a lot of great scenes together.
I remember that era.
Yeah, me too. It's a good era. So he's one of the guys. He's the black dude on the ship. And he's Jamaican.
Okay.
And he's fucking all these ladies when he's back. And you see the guy who's alone is jealous. Damn. But he's a good looking guy also, Finally, you see outside, John C. Reilly's ex pulls up with the kid. Okay?
Okay.
And he kind of looks at her, and he's not mad, but he's like, what happened today?
Yeah.
Where were you, And she's like, oh, they just, they had a sale at the kid's shoe store, and we had to get him shoes, yada, yada. And he's like, oh, okay. And he goes, hey, kiddo, you want to come in for a drink, huh? For old time's sake? And not to the kid, he looks at the wife. He goes, you want to come in for the drink for old time's sake? And she goes, that's what killed us, honey. The old times. And then he was like, okay. And he grabs all the money that he made, all of it, and he hands it to her, and he goes, I'm a little short what I actually owe you. It wasn't actually, he said it wasn't a real slammer out there this time. She goes, don't worry about it. And she takes it, counts it, and then gives him half back. He goes, you sure about that? She goes, I got a job. I'm working now. It's okay. And he's like, thank you. Thank you. You know what I mean? And he looks at the son. He goes, you want to come in with daddy, shoot some pool, have a beer? And then the mom, they all laugh, the mom, knows he's joking. The mom laughs, and she's like, just bring him home, bring him home in an hour. And he's like, thank you. And then the kid gets out all excited because they go in and play pool, right? So everyone in the bar is laughing because, just having a good, just clearly everyone in this town knows each other. That's the vibes. You know what I mean? Everyone's having a good time other than our boy, George Clooney.
George Clooney.
He is stressed. All right? He's stressed out. You see him on the phone talking to somebody. And he's like, yes, I'll take it. He's like, yep, we'll do it. Sign the deal, make it happen, let's go. He hangs up. He walks up to Mark Wahlberg, and Diane Lane looks at him, looks at George Clooney, and she goes, uh-oh. Right? She goes, you got bad news. And he's like, ah. He looks at Mark Wahlberg, and he's like, your woman's just as smart as she is beautiful. And Mark Wahlberg's like, his eyes get big, like, what? And he looks at everybody, and the boys are kind of all surrounded right there, and he goes, we're going back out, boys. And they're all like, no! We just got, please.
Yeah.
We just got back. Please don't do this. They're all so pissed. And he goes, hey, anyone has anything to say, I'll fucking get your replacement. They're a call away. Other than that, in 2 days, we ship out. And this time, I promise you, we will come back with a shitload of fish. This is our last window to go out this month. We have to go out. They're like, fuck, bro. He walks off. Wahlberg's like, fuck. And he looks at the other boys, and they're all looking at each other. And Mark Wahlberg's like, I'm going to tell him, stick it up his ass. And then John C. Reilly looks at him, and he's like, well, go tell him then. And And it's quiet for a second, and he gets all nervous. And he's like, that's what I thought. Maybe we'll tell him to stick it up his ass when we get home, huh? And Mark Wahlberg's like, yeah. And then Diane Lane goes off. Why do I even love you? Why the fuck do I even love you? And she storms off. And he's like, oh. And then Murph looks at him and goes, go follow her. And he's like, yeah. He said, bro, don't make the same mistake I did. Go follow her. He's like, all right. John C. Reilly, by the way, unbelievable actor.
Yeah, he's great.
He's so good. And then right then, his son looks up at him and goes, are you going away again, Dad? He's like, yeah, son. And he's like, can you take me with you? And he just goes, right? Cut back to Diane Lane's upstairs. She's talking to him. He's holding on to her. And she's like, just go back to your old job. It's safe and it pays. Like, I don't have to worry about you all the time. You're not gone. He goes, you know it's not enough. He goes, come on. He was like, it's just one more time. I promise. That's it. I have to try. We need the money. And then he goes, I got that divorce lawyer, that I'm dealing with, and a mountain of debt from that. And
he's saying this?
Yeah, so he's already divorced.
Wow.
All right. And then he goes, and everything you're going through, and I know you're trying to get your 2 kids back, and I want to help you.
What?
It's based on a true story, Sam.
Yeah.
That's why I'm saying she's older. She already has 2 kids, and she don't have them.
Oh.
Okay. And then she's crying, and she goes, when we get them, though, will you love them? And he goes, they're yours, aren't they, babe? And then she's like, and she just jumps all over him, right? And he's got that boss. He's so cute.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? But now you see that they show you the dynamic of like, oh, okay.
Okay.
They've made some mistakes, it seems, in life. They're human. So you see Murph, he goes home with his son, and he's driving, and the son's like, Murph goes, John C. Reilly's like, so son, you still want to be a fisherman? And the son's like, who said that? And he's like, what? You said that. You said you wanted to come with me. He said, yeah, I want to come with you, but I don't want to be a fisherman. And he smiles, and he goes, son, one day your mom's going to find a new dad. And the kid's like 7, 8. He goes, but I don't want one. And he goes, I know, but she can't sit around alone all day, buddy. And then the son goes, she isn't sitting around alone. Bro, you see John, I don't know why they put this in here. I guess because he's such a good actor, because you see a man shot through the fucking head. And he's like, well, I'm sure he's a good guy. Your mom would only be with a good guy. I hope you know that. And buddy, all that matters is you and your mom being happy. The kid starts bawling, starts crying, bro. And the kid goes, this is what got me. The kid goes, can we talk about something else? Oh, God. And he just holds him, and the kid's like, I miss you, Daddy. And he's like, I miss you too, buddy. And he starts crying. John C. Reilly starts crying, bro. He's like, I miss you so much. I guess they wanted to show you, like, damn, bro, the life of a fisherman ain't like, this shit's real, nigga.
Yeah.
This shit ain't no, like, yo, this a hard life. So, cut back to the bar. It's late now. You see the Bugsy dude, the dude who's alone. He's talking to this fat girl. All right, this big fat woman. And he's trying to, like, chum it up with her. Like, she ain't trying to talk to him at first, but he, like, keeps kind of poking, you know what I mean? And he's asking her to take her home, and she's like talking shit, like yada yada. She's like, no, you ain't taking me home. Like, get out of here with that. And then he's like, lady, come on. Where's the passion in your life? And she's like, at home and in bed. 1 is 6, 1 is 8. That's my passion. Right? Fair answer. I'm so sorry. Damn, I'm so sorry. I got Sam right in the face. And then she's like ignoring him still. And then he kind of pauses and he goes, well, I bet they got a wonderful mother. Because he's drunk, And then she looks at him, right? You got to remember, she's a big girl. Yeah. And she's real tough. And then you see her let her guard down a little bit. She goes, you're not messing with me, are you? Like, you know what I mean? Like what are you doing? And he goes, no. And she gets all shy. And he's like, I'm not, I promise. And he goes, look, we leave tomorrow. And he goes, she's like, well, bye, Michael. And she shakes his hand, and he's like, all right, well, bye. It was nice to meet you. And she kind of leaves. But she kind of was like, exactly, like, okay. Nobody's ever done that. And cut to the next morning, we see the boys loading up the boat, all the supplies, food, bait, and we're talking about like, this is a fishing boat. It's a big boat. Mm-hmm. So it's lots of shit. So they're loading up. Like, it would take a long time to do all this. The other woman captain comes up and sees Clooney and the boys loading up. And she's like, bait, groceries? You boys doing a turnaround? And he's like, no rest for the weary, you know? And she's watching him, and he's like studying charts. And she's like, oh, I love watching you study charts because I already know that you know them by heart. And he kind of smiles at her because you can tell they have a rapport, right? And he's like, why are you trying to blow smoke up my ass? What you trying to do? She's like, oh, you know I want you. What do you think about me and you? Like, you can tell, like, they joke about this. She's like, what do you think? Me and you settling down one day, huh? Like, just getting us a house, some kids. And then he's like, you don't want that. You're the best, you're the best, like, fisherman captain, in the sea, whatever. You're like, and he goes, you were great. The moment I saw you, I knew you were a real fisherman captain. And she kind of smiles, like damn, right? And then Clooney starts giving this, like, speech, like, not a speech, but, like, he just starts talking about his favorite thing, which is setting out. You get the rigs, you're in the thing by yourself. You hear the men downstairs running about, getting everything going. The ship starts going out. You pass the first dock and then the second dock, and then, you see the such and such's lighthouse, and you see his kids always out there, and you wave to them, and you see this little dock here that I used to play at every year when I was a kid. And then you see, he goes, and then when you hit a certain part, that's when you see all the birds, and you see her lighting up listening to him tell this, because she's like, damn, that is exactly how it goes, right? And he's like, and then all of a sudden it's just you in the ocean, right? And you realize you're a goddamn sword boat captain. There's nothing better in the whole world. And she's just like, you know what I mean? Like, I can listen to you talk about this shit all day. Yeah. Right? So he goes and sees sees this other dude, because they needed because remember, he lost a guy who wanted to go to Florida. So they need another crew member. Yes. And this dude's another great actor. You've seen him in a lot of stuff. You remember in the beginning of The Dark Knight when the Joker's robbing the bank, right? You know what I'm talking about? Just start there. Remember that? Yes. Opening scene, Joker robs the bank, right? Uh-huh. You remember there's a guy who's like, you have any idea who you're dealing with? You know who you're robbing from? Right? And he's shooting at him. And then the Joker, he's like, did he shoot 5 times or 6? And the guy's like, 5. And he stands up, and the guy looks at him, he's like, and he shoots him, and he's like, where did you learn to count? Right? Mm-hmm. And then the Joker and the guy's talking shit like, all you thugs, what do you believe in? What do you believe in? And then the Joker leans down, and he's like, I believe anything that doesn't kill you makes you stronger. And then he puts the bomb in his mouth. You know what I'm talking about, that scene? Yes. It's that actor.
I don't remember what that guy looks like.
Okay, he's been in a lot of stuff, but every time I see him, I think of that scene specifically. I don't know why. But he's been in a lot of shit. He's a great actor. Mm-hmm. Remember Armageddon? He's one of the space captains in Armageddon that Bruce Willis and him get to fight. Okay. Yeah, he's been but he's one of dude, every single person in him, like, damn, I know you from so much shit. So he goes and he's like, hey, Sully, we need your help. What are you doing? And he's like, all right, I'll pay. But he asked, is Murph there? John C. Reilly. Mm-hmm. He's like, yeah. And he's like, and then he's like, I don't want to deal with him. Like, we got some personal shit going on right now. All right? Mm-hmm. John C. Reilly. And then, but George Clooney's like, yo, you want the job or not? And he thinks about it. He's like, he needs the money. He's like, fuck, I do. Okay? Just remember, him and John C. Reilly, they got some stuff going on. He tells him, we got some shit going on right now. All right? So Clooney goes, it's late night, he's sitting on the boat alone, and he's just staring at this picture. It's a picture of 2 little kids, right at as you're looking out. It's like a picture right there, right? Mm-hmm. He's just staring at it. The next morning, Diane Lane and Mark Wahlberg wake up. Mark Wahlberg has a huge black eye. And he's like, oh, Lord. And she's like waking up. She's like, oh, shit, did I do that? He's like, don't worry. I ain't blind. And then she looks at him. She's like, tell me last night was worth it. He goes, it was. And he looks at her and he goes, there's nothing like sleeping with you. And I'm not talking about the other stuff. I mean, just sleeping, lying next to you. You're so warm and sweet. And she just starts crying. Aww. Right? So the next morning, it's that when all the boys are in the bar. Murph and you see Murph and the Sully guy see each other for the first time, and they immediately start talking shit to each other. Like, they about to fight. Mm-hmm. All right? The old lady, the Ma lady, breaks it up, and the black dude calms them down. And George Clooney kind of looks at them all, and he's like, let's go, boys. Mark Wahlberg looks at his mom, because they all call Mark Wahlberg's mom, but she's really Mark Wahlberg's mom. Does that make sense? Okay. But all the boys call her mom. It's like real sweet. But she's like, she's hugging them all, but when she gets to Mark, you can tell it's like, that's her baby, okay? And she looks at him, and he's like, I gotta go, Ma. She starts crying, and she goes, honey, I want you to know the Grand Banks are no joke. And he goes, no joke in October. I know. And she's like, just be careful, okay? And she hugs him. Because you can tell it's like, she knows the life of a fisherman. Like, hey, like, in October, weather gets crazy. Because you would know that. Mm-hmm. You would know, like, there's certain times of the year that you're not supposed to go out clearly. Mm-hmm. And so, like, I know you guys are kind of pushing that. Remember, he said this is our last window. Yeah. Because it was like, hey, if you're going to go out, you have to go out here, because there's a certain line where it's like, well, it's just hurricane season. You can't go out. So they head to the Andrea Gale. That's the name of the boat. Mm-hmm. The Andrea Gale. All right. The boys are all walking out to the boat. Diane Lane and Mark Wahlberg sit in their car together. Like, they go sit in the car outside, and they're just kind of talking. And she hands him a cigarette, and she goes, well, at least we can get cancer together, right? And he laughs. He goes, we can't put it off any longer. I hate goodbyes. Like, like you see it, because you see the boys like loading up, like this is happening, right? And she's like, oh, don't go. I have a bad feeling about this one. And he goes, I know, me too. And she's like, well, don't go. She goes, I'll work weekends, I'll work nights, I'll work mornings. We can put money away, we'll figure it out. And he's like, oh, fuck. And he looks at the boys and he's like, I gotta go. Remember that song? Brandy. Yeah. It's like that. Yeah. Because when you see him look at the water, he's like, because even he says, bro, I got a bad feeling too, but he's like, bro, I gotta go. Yeah. I gotta go. I fish.
I gotta be out there.
Sam, that's what I do. I fish.
I gotta be out there.
I'm saying, it's really, it's a good, why do you feel so far about the movie?
This is crazy. Yeah, this is good.
Are you locked in or no?
I'm locked in. I haven't said much. I don't know if you noticed.
I have, but I don't know how you're feeling. I don't know if you're on edge, if you're nervous.
I'm nervous. But
you feel like something bad's gonna happen?
Yes. It's called the perfect storm. There hasn't been a storm yet.
Maybe it's just a perfect storm of emotions.
Oh, well, that's definitely what's happening also.
We'll be right back. Commercial break. Hey, Bean Mafia. That's right. The Bean Mafia gang has stepped up. Spoil the beans. We're here. We got a real ad, baby. This is a real motherfucking ad. Manscaped. That's right. That's Manscaped. You heard me correct. Everyone out there who has been listening to this podcast forever, we got a real product backing us, supporting the Spoil the Beans lifestyle, supporting the Spoil the Beans movement. And you know what's nice is this product is actually the shit. I've never used Manscaped. I've never used Manscaped before. I'm not going to lie. This is the first time I ever used it. Holy shit. Not kidding. Holy shit. Holy shit. It's amazing. It is
top tier.
Top tier. Sam likes the new package.
I dig it.
It's not bad. It's not bad. I'm talking about my package. This is incredible. Your boy, I'm gaining girth. You gain girth. You gain length. Fellas, Manscaped. You're giving yourself inches, baby. And if Al Pacino didn't say anything, he said, life is a game of inches. You haven't seen this movie yet.
I was like, what? Any given Sunday. That?
Life's a game of inches. Nigga, Manscaped. That should be their fucking slogan. It's a game of inches. Life. Your penis. Manscaped. Dude, I love it. Spoil the Beans. That is our promo code. Literally type in Spoil the Beans, get 20% off. Guys, let me go through how good this is. See this right here? You see this? This bad boy, excuse me, is the lawnmower. The lawnmower 4.0. Dude, I use this, shaved my balls in 10 minutes. Hadn't shaved in like half a year, probably. You know what I mean? Shaved, tire sack, 10 minutes. Unbelievable.
But you're not even nearly as hairy as I am. Hey, for the ladies who are listening to this, you can also use this to shave you. I'm a very hairy lady. I'm a kind of a fuzzy person. What?
She's a fuzzball, dog.
I'm a fuzzball. I'm like a tennis ball.
She's a fucking tennis ball.
I am a tennis ball up in here. And this is very handy, I will say.
Love it. The 4.0?
So
the
quick. Trimmed my fuzz.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, dude, Manscaped, let me tell you something about the 4.0. They engineered the ultimate groin and body trimmer by focusing on intelligent functionality and incredible, comfortable grooming experience. Their 4th generation trimmer features a cutting-edge ceramic blade to reduce grooming accidents thanks to our advanced skin-safe technology. I now feel confident shaving my boys. That is true. I had no nicks.
I wasn't nervous at all.
Yeah, I had zero nicks. And I've shaved my balls plenty of times with other razors and other things like that. You know what I mean? And literally always a nick or two, which sucks because your balls, you don't want your balls bleeding all day.
Yeah, that's gross.
Because it's
You're
nonstop.
not
A lot of
supposed
blood
to
down there.
bleed.
Yeah, so you just don't want that. You know what I mean? I didn't know this also. I'm one of the first people, me and you, Samantha, to try the new 4.0, and I am blown away by the performance. I literally am. It's phenomenal. It really is. This upgraded trimmer includes a multi-function on and off switch that can engage a travel lock. It really can. You can lock it if you need to. It also gives you the ability to turn the 400K LED spotlight on and off whenever needed for a precise shave.
I looked up how
Oh
to
my
do
God. The Lawnmower 4.0 even allows you to customize your trim through additional guard lengths with sizes 1 through 4, which is really nice. I did need the size. I was going to go no trimmer, and Sam had to help me out here.
Yeah, we wanted to get a little bit of a fade going.
I wanted more of a fade. I didn't want a football, but I like the fade. Did I mention, this is very important, wireless charging. Look at this. This is wireless. This is charging right now, all right? Wireless charging, well, you got to plug it in, but it could be charging right now is my point.
It could be.
Wireless charging uses electromagnetic induction, which can help battery length last longer. Men, if you've been shaving with the same nut trimmer on your face, you've been doing it wrong. No person wants pubes in their mouth.
Yeah, you should have one for each.
One for each. Me and Sam both have one. It's fucking awesome. It's time to get your own ball and hair and body trimmer with Manscaped to make me time the best time and enhance your confidence with some nice, smooth boys. Get 20% off, free shipping with the code SPOILTHEBEANS. All one word, Spoil the Beans, all caps. Guys, it's the name of the pod, Spoil the Beans. Easy. Manscaped. Use it. Yo, let me tell you this. These are some of the things that you get. Waterproof trimmer. Reduces foot odor. I didn't know that, but this does reduce foot odor.
Really?
It does. The Lawnmower 4.0 trimmer helps reduce nicks, reduces the risk of ingrown hairs, and reduces the risk of grooming accidents. I stand by all those things 1,000%. This is not because they're the first brand to support us. I genuinely fuck with this. Mm-hmm. The nose trimmer, incredible. Got all my nose hairs out.
He's got a hairy nose. That's the
I
one
do
thing
have a
that
very
is
nose.
very hairy.
I'm not really a hairy guy. My
He's
balls
not.
a little bit, but my nose
But
gets
your
pretty hairy.
nose needed.
I loved this. The crop preserver, the ball deodorant, genuinely found it refreshing on my testes.
You felt refreshed.
It added a little spice. You know, it really did. I wasn't mad about it. I really wasn't. The crop reviver, the ball toner, also felt good on my balls. I love this bag that they come with. This is just nice for because I
This
travel
is
a
called
lot.
The shed.
Is that what it's called?
That's what it says on here. The shed. It's
The shed, the travel
storage
bag. I travel a lot,
They have
so
cool
I've been
stuff.
using it on the road. Unbelievable kit, unbelievable package. I've been putting my other toiletries in this, but it's phenomenal, dude. Everything they sent us, I've been using. Every single thing. Sam uses them,
I did. I had to trim the fuzz.
dude. If you're in a couple, get two. Get the 4.0
Yeah, get two.
lawnmower. Unreal. Get the fucking for fellas. If you got a hairy nose, get the weed whacker. 1,000% recommend the weed whacker if you got a hairy nose. Ball fucking deodorant, the crop preserver, unbelievable. The toner, unbelievable. God, the Lawnmower 4.0, seriously. I genuinely loved this product. It is so worth it. It's just, I shaved. I'm going to probably shave again in another week. Took me 10 minutes. Crop the area. More inches.
It took you less time than 10 minutes.
Did it? It felt so fast.
It was very fast. Maybe
was
like
quick.
2 songs.
It was 2 rap songs. So we're talking,
rap
it might be 6
songs?
minutes. Probably, yeah, right. 6 minutes, if we're being all the way honest. 6 minutes. Your boy was fresh shaved up. We had incredible sex. Can I guarantee the great sex you'll have? I can't guarantee that. I can hope for it. I'll hope for it.
We can put that energy into
I'll
your
put that
future.
energy. If you use Spoil the Beans, Manscaped,
20%
promo code,
off.
20% off, plus free shipping, I will put that good energy if you're going to have good sex after you Manscaped. I'm going to put that out there on you.
That's free, man.
That's for you. Guys,
lady.
Spoil the Beans. The promo code's right here. Use it. Don't lose it. All right? 20% off. And Manscaped, thank you so much, man. You guys, this
Thank
was
you,
amazing.
Manscaped.
We really appreciate it. We love you guys. Thanks for supporting the Bean Mafia. And back to the movie. We're back, motherfuckers. Hope you guys are enjoying this too. Follow Sam on Instagram.
Oh.
At Best Sam Lopez. It's really awesome.
Put together a parade for me.
They put together a parade. She deserves it. The next morning, you see the dude watching, like, you remember they're all leaving. It's that morning. They're all leaving. And you see the dude, the skinny guy who couldn't get a girl, who was kind of upset that everybody else has a girl. You see him loading up and he's looking around, right? And he's like, he sees everybody else kissing their like loved ones goodbye. And you see like, John C. Reilly kissing his son and shit. And then right then he looks up and the big girl from the bar shows up. He's like, he smiles real big and you see him like slide down to like, he was up at the top of the boat, right? He slides down, you see him like jump off and then he jumps off into the deck and he runs over and he's like, hey, and she goes, Irene. He's like, Irene. Like, right? And she goes, yeah. She goes, I just want to say goodbye to you. And he looks at her and his eyes get real big and he's like, no one has ever said goodbye to me before. Thank you. And then she smiles real big and he's like, well, goodbye, Irene. And he goes, I wish I could say good night, Irene. Right? And she smiles and she goes, come home, we'll do that later. And he's like, all right, like, you know what I mean? Like, let's go there. I love that. I was like, damn, that was a really sweet. When he says nobody's ever said goodbye to him before, I was like, damn, bro, that's real. Because you a fisherman too. You living that life, bro. So, but you don't have a loved one. But you see everyone else every time, like, God, that would suck, bro. Coming in and having no one to hug after being gone for like months at sea.
Yeah, we feel really lonely.
Yeah, you want somebody to miss you, So, you hear George Clooney go, all right, let's go, right? All the boys run up. Mark Wahlberg.
Are you crying already?
No.
Oh, you were tearing up, it looked like.
Oh, I'm sorry. No, I guess not yet. I'll let you know, though.
Okay.
So George Clooney yells, let's go. Our boy Mark kisses Diane Lane. He's like, I love you.
I gotta go.
I love you. I always love you, Christine. And he runs off on the boat and he jumps on and they start pulling off and she watches him go. I like this shot though, because it's early in the morning and she's watching them go and they're all waving and they sail off and she waves until they're gone into the fog. Like the shot is from her behind her,
Yeah.
And then cut to beautiful shots of them and just the ocean.
Wow.
You know what I mean? And Clooney's in the captain chair and he's just in heaven. He's just smiling, right? And the boys are downstairs stocking all the food up and putting ice in all the coolers and doing all this shit. You see Clooney's going by and he's like checking on everything. All the boys are doing their check. Like, they're going like, we're about to start. Like they're doing all their checks. You see great shots of like, you gotta tell like it's just a young, handsome Mark Wahlberg and just shots of him like overlooking the actual ocean behind him. You know what I mean? Like, oh, this is what they want. This was all the director wanted.
Yeah.
Was just this shot of Mark Wahlberg for sure. Cause it's just beautiful. And you can see the Murph dude and the Sully dude still beefing. Like through all this, you can see like their menacing looks and like you can tell they're like, oh, they do not fuck with each other. You see our boy Bobby, he goes through his gear. He's going through his gear on his bed. Like, all their beds are right next to each other. It's just like a little barracks, obviously.
Yeah.
And he's going through and there's a note. He's like, and it's from his girl. And you hear her voice. You hear, like he's reading it, but you hear her voice. She's like, hi, Robbie. Yes, somewhere out there in that goddamn blue sea. And she goes, and I'm sitting here writing this on 2 pillows I just bought from JCPenney's. And I'm smiling. It's also crazy because this probably was the real note. Because they would have this stuff. You know what I mean? And, they would have that note, but I mean, she would be able to tell, like whoever wrote the book would be able to figure out, like, how else would they get all these stories? Yeah. Some of it had to be real and out of the book.
Stop giving things away. I don't actually know what's going to happen.
I haven't said anything yet. I just said it's out the book. I know. So.
But you said that they wouldn't have the actual notes. So something's going to happen.
Well, you don't know what happens to the note. See, now I'm not trying to get stuff away, but it's like, it's a note. I'm with the note, but I did maybe give away that the note might be lost. So, and she goes, I'm smiling. She goes, I'm smiling for what I have in store for you. Ooh. I'm talking removal from our dungeon's crow nest. I'm talking our own place. Forever your love, Bobby. I'm in this for the long run. And you see her moving them into their new spot.
Oh, wow.
All right. So you see him, he's all like, he's so excited. He reads that, he's all happy. He goes up and sees the boss, and he knocks on the door, and he's like, I'm not intruding, am I, Skip? He's like, no, come in. And just looking at him and George Clooney, and they're just looking at the ocean as they're heading towards it. And he's like, you're a natural, kid. You got salt in your blood. You know? And he goes, man, you're really happy today, huh, Skip? He goes, yeah, today. And he goes, when are you unhappy? And George Clooney thinks about it, and he's like, the day we go home. It's the day he's unhappy. And he's like, well, what's your real home? He goes, well, my real home is Pensacola, Florida. That's where my ex and my kids are.
Wow.
So I guess that would technically be my home. But I just never did it right. House, kids, all that stuff. And he goes, wow, well, then why are you still so happy, boss? And he goes, you caught me on a good day. I'm doing what I'm made to do. And I got a feeling I'm going to do it better this time than any time before. Right? He goes, how about you, son? How you feeling? He goes, I got a woman I can't stand to be away from. What's better than that? And he's like, congrats. Then again, and then Mark Wahlberg's like, then again, I do love to fish. And Clooney smiles. He goes, ooh, son, let me tell you right now, you got a problem. And then they both kind of laugh. He's like, fuck, I know, right? Because he's like, yeah, you love that girl. You can't stand to be away from her, but where are you?
You're here.
You here. Why? Like, nigga, you know what it is. Like, you ain't got, because I get it. It was kind of like, you ain't got to lie to me, dog. Like, yeah, I know you can't stand to be away from her, and I'm sure that's true, but are we not heading out to the fucking ocean right now?
Yeah.
Sable Island. All right? Where's going across the screen? You see the Channel 9 newsroom in Boston. We see Shooter McGavin from Happy Gilmore.
Shooter McGavin.
All right, he's the meteorologist.
Okay.
And he notices something, right?
No.
And he's like, this looks ugly. And he's like, Pam, can you come in here? I need graphics for Bermuda and Stable Island. And then you see this other place called Mistral, all right, which is heading towards Bermuda. And you see people on this boat, and like it's like a vacation boat. And they're asking this guy, like, you know, what's the course, and you know, to get to Bermuda. And the guy's like, oh, don't worry about that. I don't need one. I sail this and ride it all the time. We'll be in Bermuda in no time. All right. Back to George Clooney and the boys. It's just quiet on the boat. It's quiet. Nobody's saying much. It's like nobody's saying anything. It's just quiet. And they're all just kind of sitting there as they're going out to sea. And then they kind of stop. And George Clooney turns around and he comes out the captain's thing and he goes, boys, let's go fishing. And they're all like, ah! Like,
Wow.
you're like, let's go. Like, this is Bro Sam. And then like they cut on like rock music. Because it's not like they're fishing like this. No, it's like heavy duty. Also, so like they get
have
these,
like a crane thing?
the whole thing. So they're setting up these huge fishing lines and they're setting up these buoys and these huge buoys. I mean, saying they're like, they have to pick them up
Yeah,
like
they're
this
getting
together and they're
swordfish,
throwing
right?
them out. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah,
and they're huge. So they have to like trap them and corner them into this thing clearly. So they're throwing them as they're like driving around in a thing. They're throwing them out one by one. All these buoys are connected with fishing line. There's nets, like, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
But it's a lot of work. It takes, I mean, that's why there's like 12, like, not 12, there's probably like, I think 6, 7 guys on this boat. But they're all big, strong fishermen. So this is like, oh, this is man's work. And it takes them a long time to do this shit. And like Sam, by the time they're done doing all this, the sun has set.
Wow.
They started crack of dawn. And by the time they're finished, the sun has set. Just them doing all, but you can tell it's like, damn, like that's probably why they get so excited because it's so much hard work. But then when you start catching fish, it's probably like, oh, we did it.
Yeah.
So cut to that night, music's still rocking, they're rocking out. Murphy's yelling out at the Sully dude for being a useless, wasted piece of shit. Like, we don't need this guy. You tell he just doesn't like him.
Yeah.
Right? He's been goofing off all night, yada, yada. Like, we don't fucking need this dude. He's a waste. And then Sully looks at him and goes, well, your wife don't think that.
Oh.
They start fighting. Sam, remember when he told him, like, hey, we got a thing right now. He's fucking his wife.
Yeah. That's a thing.
That'll be a thing.
That'd be a thing.
Obviously, John C. Reilly loses. They throwing hands, right? Yeah. The captain like runs out. Stop right now. When we get back, I'll throw you both in jail. Think I'm fucking playing. Like, you're not gonna be fighting on my fucking boat. I don't give a shit. Also, I get the captain because he's like, hey, there's bigger things going on than this. Like,
yeah.
Y'all can fight all you want on land. Nigga, right here, this is my ship. Yeah. So he makes them stop. You all right? Wahlberg, the captain makes them stop, so they have to all go to the shared barracks, and he like has to like separate them because they're still talking shit. See, and then I also realized, like, damn, like that's crazy that if you're on this kind of job and you get into it with another dude, ain't nothing, you can't go nowhere.
Yeah, then you're stuck. You're here.
So you're gonna have to figure it out. So they talk more shit, they go to bed. A horn wakes them up, crack of dawn, next, like in a couple hours, they all hop up out of bed. They're like, let's go. Let's make them fucking money. Here we go. They all get to work. They grab these huge hooks. I mean, Sam, they're so long. Huge, right? They're all on the edge of the boat, and they got the wires linked up to them, like to the things, and they're ready, and they stand by the edge, and they're all nervous, and it's quiet. And they're all like, come on, Skip. Come on, Skip. And the captain's like, we got to make a killing. It's just like them talking to themselves, and it's just quiet, Sam, in the middle of the ocean. And then you see one huge swordfish like come up, and they're like, yeah! They're like, don't lose him, pull him in, Murph. And they all stab him. They're like, pull it in. 1, 2, 3. Yeah! And like, Sam, the swordfish is the size of this goddamn table.
Whoa.
It's so big. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And they're all like, yeah! And then another one. And then another. And Sam, it's just like, this is their whole morning. Just pulling in swordfish, right? Cut back. And like, they're like, it's like they're scoring touchdowns every time. Because I guess also it's money.
It's money.
So you're like, damn, every time you catch one, that's this amount of money. So cut back to you see Diane Lane and the mom, Mark Wahlberg's mom, setting up their apartment. And Diane Lane tells the mom, like, I'm really excited to make a go for it with your son. Like, I love him. And then the mom's like, you have a real confidence in you. And the mom's like, and the daughter's like, oh, don't put me on. She's like, no, he's my precious boy now. And you're the woman for him. And the mom starts tearing up. And then the Diane Lane's like, oh, thank you. Yeah, yeah. And the mom has to grab her and go, honey, that's not something I joke about. And then Diane Lane like gives her a big hug, like realizes like, oh shit, like this mom fucks with me. You know what I'm saying? So cut to the news. Hurricane's coming in off Sable Island.
Yeah.
All right. You see shots of this like big anchor ship, like, one of those cargo ships going through Bermuda, and it's going through hurricane weather. And you see it like a big old cargo ship, and it's getting rocked, right? Later in the day, you see the boys are all pissed because the fish slowed down. Like now they're just catching these itty bitty swordfish. Like it only, how earlier it was taking like 3 or 4 of them to pull one on. It's just like one person can just grab it and pull it on.
Oh wow.
They're like tiny. And now they're like, fuck, right? Downstairs, they're stuffing them in the ice, like, right? They're stuffing like all the fish they caught in the ice cellar. And they have like 3 cellars, and they halfway filled one.
Oof.
And so they're just like,
That's not enough.
oh, not even close. Not even close.
Yeah.
So they're all talking. They're downstairs talking about like how Skip's coming up short, like how Skipper's coming up short and yada yada. And that he's fucking scared, and that's why we're not, he's not a good cat. Like, they're just talking shit. The Jamaican dude was like, don't talk about him like that. And then Murph and Sully are talking more shit to each other. Like, everyone's just unhappy. Okay. That night, the Cap notices the boys are all fighting, and he hears it, and you can hear, and he because he hears it, and they're like, man, we came here for fucking nothing, because they're just waiting for fish, and he like just closes his door because he's like embarrassed. It's like there's nothing he can say.
There's nothing.
Right? It's raining hard. On the boys are still catching nothing. Right? And then finally, the line pulls. And they're like, oh, this is big. Oh, we got something big. And they're pulling hard, and it's like, yo, it's something real big. Like, come on, fat boy, bring it in. They're all pulling it in. They got the hooks ready. And then a huge wave comes out of nowhere, right? And knocks it on the fish on the boat. It's a gigantic shark. It's a gigantic shark. Is trying to bite Mark Wahlberg.
Oh my God.
And he's like kicking it with his foot. He's like, it's got my leg. And it kind of gets a hold of his leg.
Yeah.
It's like, it's got my leg. They're trying to get it off and stab it. It's huge, or it's not doing anything. The captain has to fucking run upstairs when he grabs a shotgun, comes down, boom, blows the shark's fucking brains out.
Oh my God.
And then they fucking undo the hook and get his leg out. And then they're like, oh my God. And then they throw, like, they all have to push as hard as they can to get the shark back overboard. They're looking at Wahlberg like, you all right? He's like, I don't know. And then they pull off, like, because he has all this, like, layered gear on, obviously. And they pull that off, and they pull off his big boot. And all it did was, like, tear through the boot. And it like, cut his leg, but nothing crazy. Okay. Like, he just needs some stitching. You know what I mean? But, like, he's good. And they're like, whew, you're short of boot, Rook. That's about it. And he's like, yeah, that beats being short of leg. Like, right? And they all smile. So, back on the news, we see that it's a Category 5 hurricane that's coming. All right. And you see like a plane flying through it, and you see how bad it is. Like, oh, this is a really bad hurricane. Next morning, you see our boys. It's a beautiful day. No fish. Everybody's just sitting there quietly in the middle of the ocean. Like, remember how in Life of Pi, that stillness? It's like those shots, that just stillness and no fish, just nothing's happening.
Yeah.
Right? Cut down to the boys. They're eating later, and they're talking shit about what a waste of a trip this was, and yada, yada. Mark Wahlberg goes up to see the captain, and he knocks on the door, and George Clooney's like, why aren't you downstairs watching the movie with the boys? And he's like, it's one of our 3 movies, Cap. I know them all by heart. Right? He goes, Skip, what are we going to do? This sucks. We're doing nothing. George Clooney, like, the boys are talking. He goes, yeah, about how I lost it. How Billy lost it, huh? Gets a little slow. They want to fucking draw and quarter me. And he goes, look, Cap, I don't think it's like that. I mean, we all just came for the money. He's like, I need this pay to, I need this pay to do something. He goes, last time I thought you, he goes, let me tell you something, punk. He goes, you little fucking punk. He cuts him off. Let me tell you something, you little fucking punk. Last time I brought you out here, I really thought you had something. And now I realize you're just a spoiled, greedy little fucking bastard. Right? And he's like, what? Cap, you promised a load of fish. And he goes, and I'll fucking deliver. I always find the fish, don't I? I always find the fish. And I'll find them this time. So don't fuck with me. And he storms out. And he's like, all right, Cap.
Oh.
Right?
Yeah,
George Clooney.
Insane.
The life of a fisherman, huh?
This is stressful. I'm stressed being
You're a little stressed out?
I'm a little stressed out.
You love the water, though.
Find the fish.
But you love the water and you love fish, Sam. Those are 2 things that I know you like.
Yeah, but I don't want to kill the fish.
That's true.
I feel bad. Bring them to me dead.
You don't want to have to stab them yourself.
Yeah. I don't have to shoot a shark with a shotgun.
Mm-hmm. So that night, it's raining hard. They're working, catching no fish, and the captain tells them, yo, we're not going to sleep tonight. We're working overtime. And they're like, fuck. You know what I mean? Because it's like, but also I get the captain because he's like, yo, we got to do something.
Yeah.
Or else this trip, we lost money.
Are they moving around at all, or are they staying in the same spot? Like, do they pick up their...
Oh, no, they're moving. Yeah, they're moving.
Okay.
They're moving. A lot of time is passing. You just don't see it, but this is a lot of time that's passing, all right? Because they're covering what is called the whole West Banks or whatever it's called. But they're covering all that.
Okay.
All right? And so cut down to it, you see Murph yelling at Sully again for not working. You know, this guy's fucking lazy, and Sully's like, just shut up, you asshole. And as Sully's saying this, he's holding a bucket of stuff, and it's because it's raining pretty hard. And he slips and he falls, and he drops it all. And they're all like, God damn it. Come on, Sully. Fuck. And then, Murph's like, go help him out. And all the other boys, they go and they got to put all this shit back in the bucket. It's like these little light glow stick things because it's dark. So it's so they can see. And they're all stuffing them in. They're working on it. And as they're doing this, John C. Reilly's just so pissed and he's like annoyed. So he's not paying attention. The wire is wrapping around his foot.
The wire.
Like for the fishing line.
No.
Yes. But he's not paying attention because he's so fucking mad at them.
Yeah.
And he's going off and it's wrapping and it's getting tighter and tighter because it's like, it's pulling.
Yeah.
So it's getting tighter and tighter and tighter. And he's got this hook and it's like what you would like throw out to catch the fish, right? He's holding, it's this huge hook. And he's just holding it like, and he's fucking like banging on the thing like, come on, boys, let's go. You know what I mean? And they're all working on it. And finally, like, it pulls, Sam?
Yeah.
And it fucking goes through his hand. Like, and he's like, huh! And he's like, and then it just like slings Sam. It slings him into the ocean. Like down too. Like into the water.
Oh God.
Right?
Uh-huh.
No one notices it, Sam, because they're all putting stuff in the bucket. Okay? So they're all putting stuff in the bucket. And, finally, Sully looks up to talk shit because he's like, man, I'm sick of you guys giving me shit. You're always yelling at me. And you, motherfucker. And he looks up and he's gone. And he's like, Murph, Cap, man overboard. Fucking, bro, this is the nigga that's been fighting him the whole time. With that, no hesitation. Throws his shit off, jumps right in the water.
Wow.
This is the middle of a storm too, Sam.
Yeah.
Mark Wahlberg throws his shit. I mean, like you can tell, like I'm talking about.
Well, yeah, because you
in the
want
water.
someone to do that for you.
Yeah, it's also like this isn't a game. Like
this is life or death.
we might lose this nigga at sea. He has a kid. Like we
Yeah.
can't. This is crazy. Cap runs out like, oh shit. He gets the huge light pointed out so now you can see out there. Because Sam, also it's the dark storm of the ocean. So they got the huge, like all these things. I was like, damn, it would be like that. That'd be so scary. The boy, and also they're underwater because he's down.
Yeah.
Where they're trying to catch the fish.
Uh-huh.
Right? So, they get up to him and they realize it's stabbed through his hand and like they're getting closer and closer and you see him like getting to that point, right? Where he's like, And then he like stops moving, and they're like, and they get to him, and they fucking take a knife, cut the wire,
Yeah.
right? So it's just the hook still in his hand, but like then they start swimming him up, and they're swimming, and they get to the top, and then they fucking like, you see George Clooney's like, back the boat up, and they back it up a little bit so they can get closer to the boys, and they pull him in, and they pull him up, and they're like, Murph, come on, and Captain starts doing CPR, Murph, come on, and then finally John C. Reilly's like, and they're all like, ah! Ooh, they slap him, welcome back, Murph, and he's like, you know?
Oh my God.
Bruh. So remember when I told you like the storm is not the most dangerous part.
No.
Just shit
Anything.
happens.
Yeah.
So you see the Cap stitching up our boy John C. Reilly's hand. And he's like, all right, bend over. And he's like, bend over for what? He's like, tetanus. He's like, fuck. He has to get a tetanus shot in his ass.
Yeah.
And I'm like, damn, that must be real. For them to show it must be like, this must be like little things for like, so
if
that.
you had a hook through your hand, you have to get a tetanus shot.
Yeah, good point. They probably also use that hook. They haven't cleaned that hook.
Yeah.
And he looks at the captain. He goes, who saved me? He's like, serious though. And then Cap's like, Bobby and Sully. He's like, Sully. So you see him come back out on deck, and all the boys are like cleaning up and doing their stuff. And he sees Bobby first, and he's like, Bobby. And Mark Wahlberg walks up, and he's like, hey, thank you. And he gives him a hug, and he's like, hey, don't worry about it, of course. And he goes, hey, you know, Sully jumped in first. And he's like, really? And he walks over to Sully, and you see Sully kind of like, not paying attention. And he goes, so I guess you can tell he doesn't want to like him though. He's like, guess you're the big hero, huh? And Sully's like, what? Well, I mean, you'd have done the same for me. Is that what I'm supposed to say? And he's like, you say what you want. I'm just glad you can swim so good. And then Sully's like, well, that's big of you. And then John C. Reilly breathes, and he's like, because he's such a good actor. He breathes, and he goes, look, man, that's all I can manage right now, okay? I'll work on it. And then he smiles, and he kind of just goes like, hey, I do appreciate you saving my life, nigga. And Sully kind of smiles, right? So cut back to, remember I said there was those people that were going on a vacation, these older people. They were going on a vacation on a little kind of boat to Bermuda. Like some rich people. You can tell it's like that's their energy, right? Back to them. You see they're in the middle of this fucking hurricane now. Oof. All right? And then they're like, let's turn around, let's get out of here. The old man, who also you'd recognize, Sam, the old man who's taking these people on the vacation is the fucking warden from Shawshank Redemption.
Oh.
And in Daredevil, he's one of the people in Daredevil. Remember the gangsters? You got the old lady, you got Kingpin, and you got him. He talks the most.
Oh, that guy.
Him. That's the warden in Shawshank.
He is.
Mm-hmm. So it's him. Sam, there's not any, both the old lady actresses too, you recognize. Like one of the old ladies on the vacation is remember in Oceans, that's what I'm saying, Sam. You remember in Oceans 13?
13?
13.
Okay.
Going with Al Pacino.
Yeah, I know.
They all get arrested at the end, right? And then the mom works for the FBI.
Yes.
The old lady's the mom. So also her and Matt Damon have worked together, and George Clooney. And I was like, I was just like Brody Stevens. I was like, connections, dog.
Oh, okay.
Because how much did they probably love her from this movie? And then you think about, they're like, hey, we need a mom for Ocean's 13. And you go, you know who was great?
Wait, Matt Damon?
Is in Oceans.
But he's in this movie?
No, Mark Wahlberg is. Fuck.
Yeah.
I'm thinking of George.
Yeah, George is in Ocean.
George is in Ocean. But I mean, I was thinking like, damn, you remember her.
Yeah.
Y'all worked together in this thing. So the people, you see them trying to convince the warden dude from Shawshank, like, yo, let's turn around. He's like, no, we need to ride it out for safety. We got to go with the flow. Trust me. Like, if that's how we get through this. I know. And they're like, no. Like, fuck that, obviously. Because imagine you're like, what the fuck are you talking about, bro? We're in a hurricane. Get us out of here. So cut back to on the ship, Wahlberg, you see him working, right? And it's just like a regular night at sea. And he looks up and he goes, rogue wave! And you see this huge wave out of no. And it's like, whoa, that must happen. Yeah. And it's just huge. And it just hits them. And they're all like, right? And it kind of almost topples over, and then it like almost tips, and then it comes back. And they're all get up, and then the captain's like, everybody here? And they're all like, yeah. And they all like have to do like a sound off, like, oh shit, nigga, because it could have knocked a nigga off. It easily could have knocked somebody off. So that night, the boys call the captain, George Clooney, down for a word. They need to talk. All right? He comes down, it's quiet, he looks around.
George isn't going to take this well.
And he looks around, right, and it's all dirty downstairs in the barracks where like because the captain don't sleep with the boys, obviously. And he's like, when this meeting is over, clean this shit up. What do you have to say? What a power move, right? Because it lets you know, like, hey, no matter what y'all finna say,
I'm in charge.
I'm in charge.
Yeah.
So, wait, say it. And Bobby goes, Cap, we got an unlucky feeling. What happened to Murph, the rogue wave, and then the Jamaican dude's like, and no fish. He goes, this is a cold streak like we've never seen with you, boss. Robbie's like, I think we should just go home. Cap's like, wow. A bunch of little fucking boys scared to get to the pay dirt. And they're all like, what? Come on. We covered the entire Grand Banks. Like, it's over. We couldn't find anything. He goes, fuck that. Fuck the Grand Banks. I'm heading east to the Flemish Cap. And then they're all like, well, why don't we just go to fucking Portugal if we're going to go that far? Like, because clearly it's like, that's far as shit. That's, you know what I mean? And then they're all kind of like, yo, we're not going that far. Fuck, that's crazy. And he looks at them all and he goes, well, this is the moment of truth, boys. This is where we separate the men from the boys right here. How about it? Are you Gloucester men? Are you? And they're all like, yes. And John C. Reilly goes, yes. But why do we have to go there to prove that we're Gloucester men? Right? Which is a very fair question.
That's fair.
And then George Clooney goes, because that's where the fucking fish are. And he's like, oh. He's like, and that's it, boys. It's either we go there or crawl home busted, defeated. They all get quiet, and they're like, all right, Skip, let's do it. Okay? So you see our boy captain, George Clooney, talking to, the other woman captain that he's homies with. You see them talking, right, on the radio. And she tells him, like, yo, the storm is kicking up something pretty nasty. And he's like, yeah, I heard about it, yada, yada, I saw. And then they start talking about how much fish they caught. And he's like, we haven't done too good. He's like, how about you? And then she tells him how much fish she caught. And he's like, damn, you are on a hot streak, girl. And she's like, I told you to team up with me. And he's like, I don't do partners. With business, that is. And then she kind of smiles. Because, they have that, like, wife relationship, work wife thing. And he goes, by the way, I'm going to the Flemish Cap. Just want to let you know. Also, I'm assuming in the book, this woman gave her, like, so that's how they knew. Yeah. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Because there's a book. Well, somebody must have known that this was all happening. And you also see them having radio conversations. So she must have remembered all this, And then she goes crazy. Like, that's stupid. What the fuck? What are you doing? What do you got to prove? And then she's like, she goes, there's 3 storms happening right now. I don't know if you know that. Like, there's 3 different hurricanes going on right now. Like, and where you're going is kind of near all of them. So, like, don't do that. Basically, that's what you're saying. Like, what the fuck? That's stupid, right? And then she goes, and George Clooney's like, yeah, but you're behind me, though. So that's why you're so worried about it. Because she's kind of in the middle of it, right, as she's on this call with him, And she goes, yeah, I am behind you, but you still got to come back through it to get back.
Yeah.
And he's like, fair point, right? And they both kind of laugh. She's like, I don't like saying this, but be careful. And she's like, serious. And he's like, yes, mother, over and out. And then he smiles, right? So back at the bar.
George. Sorry, okay.
It's okay. Back at the bar, it's storming real bad. And you see the big fat girl that liked her. She comes to the bar, right? And then you see, like, everybody's there. Everybody who's there is who's connected to the boys. And they're all watching the news. They're all kind of getting worried, And they hear that, like, somebody tells them, like, they already knew that the boys are going to the Flemish Cap. Like, it got back to them already through radio channels and yada, yada, right? And there's an old man at the bar. Right? And he's been there hanging there the whole time. And he speaks up finally. He goes, I've been there. Lots of fish. Lots of weather, too. Hurricanes, huge seas. And the mom kind of looks at him. She's like, you're full of shit. And he's like, that's right. I am. And then he kind of puts like, he's kind of like, you know, like, all right, I said it. Right? The Flemish Cap. You see the boys sailing in the Flemish Cap, right? It's beautiful. They start fishing. Sam, they catch everything.
It's full.
It's all swordfish.
Yeah. For
days.
Yeah.
They're going, they can't believe it. They're dancing, they're celebrating. They're stocking the fish up in the ice, and it's overstocked. And we're from being 3 empty, Sam, they're like, they can't fit anything else. It's just overstocked, right? Cut back to, you see the little boat with the people on the vacation, and the boat is flipping all the way over in this storm. Now. Right? And the guy, they're inside, and the guy's like, you know, the warden's like, we stay down. We'll just ride it out. This is my boat, damn it. And the woman goes, well, this is my fucking life. We're turned like, fuck you. You know what I mean? Like, I'm not dying for your fucking boat. Yeah. And she's like, calling in, Mayday, Mayday. And they give their position, and it's just radio static.
Yeah.
And they're just like, you see one woman crying, the other woman, like, they know they're about to die. It's like that. It's real. Back to our boys. The juxtaposition of like, to like them celebrating. They're having a good, they're stuffing all the fish with ice.
Yeah.
And it's just all the ice and all the fish you can imagine, right? And then right then you hear a machine go, crank out. And they all kind of look, and they look at Bugsy, and Bugsy's like, oh shit. The captain's like, what? The ice machine died. And they're like, fix it. He's like, no. She's fried. Like, it died. It's done. Yeah. And he's like, fuck. He's like, we needed a new one, but the goddamn guy who owns this boat's a cheap son of a bitch. And then George Clooney looks at the crew. He's like, the ice machine's gone, boys. And they're all like, they just drop their hooks. Like, they stop fishing, obviously, because now it's like, well, you can't bring any more on board. And then it's quiet for a second. And then George Clooney goes, all right. We got enough ice on them now. We'll seal the hold. A little luck. We'll get to deliver. Sell them at market. Pull the gear, boys. We're going home. And all the boys are like, yes! And they're like high-fiving. Because they're like, well, fucking good. Yeah. We want to get out of here anyway, right? Cap goes up. And now he's nervous. Because now he's looking at the report on the storm. Because he was hoping
he could wait it out.
And then head back later.
But he can't, because you'll lose the whole catch.
That's the whole point of your hit. That's what, Sam, that's the predicament they're in. Okay? All right. So he's looking at it. Gets to night, the boys are eating dinner. He comes down to him. He goes, boys, we're looking at about 40 to 50-foot waves right in our path. And then they're all kind of looking. And you see his, like, looks, and the boys are like, are you afraid, Cap? We've never seen you scared before. He goes, boys, this is pretty rough stuff. This is real. And you see them all like kind of like go from like jokingly to like, oh, this is serious. And so he goes, so this is it. We either hang till it calms down, and then right then John C. Reilly cuts him off and goes, but Cap, if we hang, we're gonna lose 60,000 pounds of fish. That's so much money. You know, he goes, we made a fucking killing. And then Captain goes, or we say the hell with it, drive right through it.
Why would you do that? Isn't your life worth more than this fish?
You are the fish. So they go, hey, Cap, you know, wait, all right, we're good on time. We're good on time. I had to check. Hassan's downstairs. We're good on time. We have other things to do, guys. Sorry. But we do this for you because we love you. And we'll never stop doing it, ever. So, he goes, or, we'll drive right through it. And then it's quiet for a second. And then John C. Reilly's like, Cap, you said we were Gloucester men, right? And Wahlberg's like, I mean, shit, what do we say? All or nothing? Let's make some fucking money? And then all the other boys are like, let's go home. Let's go home. And then George Clooney's like they're all cheering. And it's a close up on him. And he's like, all right. Like, he's not cheering. Because he really knows that, like, he knows the reports. He's like, yo, this ain't the real hurricanes, nigga, right? Cut back to the weather place where Shooter McGavin's at. He's looking at all the things and he's lining it up. And he goes, Hurricane Grace? It's Malice. This is crazy. This one's so big. That's one. He goes, two, this one is out on Sable Island. And it's literally ready to explode. I've never seen a hurricane like this. And then 3, we have a fresh cold front coming right down hard from Canada. And it's causing hell through the Atlantic. And he goes, what if Hurricane Grace runs smack into it? Because if it does, this one will feed off both of them. This could be a disaster of epic proportions. This is the perfect storm.
Oof.
And he goes, meteorologists go their whole life. And he's like, he's looking at it like, he can't believe he's seeing it. Like
the science of it.
He's like happy of it. Not like, but he's happy of it. He goes, meteorologists go their whole life and never see something like this. And he's just like, he can't believe he's seeing it, right?
Yeah.
You just see these 3 huge circles and they're all like, it's crazy how they're heading to each other. We see the boys staring at the calm water ahead. Sam, it's just calm water ahead.
Yeah.
But it's quiet on the boat. And they're all terrified. But all you see is calm water. They're all scared. And then the cap goes, Robbie, come up here. Mark Wahlberg heads up. All the boys turn around, and right as they do, the first lightning strike. And they all turn back. Unbelievable directing, though. That was great. The shot, unbelievable.
Yeah.
So back to the people who were on vacation. Remember them?
Oh, yeah.
The ones who were tumbling through the fucking ocean? Finally get someone to call them back. There's someone coming to save them. The Coast Guard's coming. They scream. They're so happy, right? You see the Coast Guard notices, the Coast Guard gets there. Like you see the guys in the Coast Guard, and they're in a helicopter. Yeah. Right? And they are like, the clock is ticking on like how they're going to save them and yada, yada. So they deploy this basket, the little basket thing that they'll deploy from the helicopter. It gets tangled on the ship pole, though. All right? Oh, no. A big wave, and it's knocking the boat around. So now the chopper's kind of like flying around, right? And the people can't get up to the basket, and so they go, fuck it. They have to screw the basket, right? And then one guy goes, fuck it, I'll just jump in for him. Right? So he jumps in for him. Tries to swim to him, he can't make it. They drop the basket, then they have to re-drop the basket for him and pull him up. So they drop the basket for him, they pull him up. As they start pulling up, a huge wave comes and knocks him out the basket. They freak out, they think they lose him, then they finally find him, they get him back up, they get him back on the boat, and he looks at him, you see him all tired, like, he goes, we need a new way to get him.
I feel like this is another movie I never saw. That Ashton Kutcher movie.
Oh, I'm going to tell you that movie one day. I love that movie. But that's a movie just about, if there was a movie just about these guys.
This moment, right?
And these guys' life. Imagine if the movie was about these guys' life story.
Ah, gosh.
So back on our boys' boat, they start hitting waves like crazy. Like, you know what I mean? Like, the rain's coming. It's starting to, it's like, oh, shit. The boys downstairs are talking about all the things they're going to do with their money.
Yeah. I'm
going to get an F-150 truck. I'm going to get this. I'm going to get that. You know, because it's like the payday they're about to get crazy. So back to the people on the vacation boat. They make them jump in the water. They go, hey, you got to leave the boat. We can't save you on the boat. You got to jump in the water. It's the only way we're going to be able to save you. They send another diver. So they all jump in the water. They send another diver in for him. He swims up to him and he goes, hey, hi, my name's, I forgot his name was. He goes, but I'm your pararescue driver today. How are you guys doing? And they're all like freaking out. And then one lady goes, okay, so far. And he goes, all right, good. And it's like, damn, that is how they would be, though. Because they have to, like, you're like, hey.
Kind of bedside manner, yeah.
You have to, because if you're panicking, I can't help you.
Yeah.
I got to calm you down. And I got to act like I've been through this a million times. Or else you're not going to think we're going to get out of this. I was thinking all that of like, damn, I bet that is how they would act. Because he was so calm when he got up to him, right? And then he goes, we're going to get you all up in the basket one at a time and get you out of here, right? So cut back to Robbie and the boys. They start taking harder waves, and now shit on the boat is breaking. They're taking waves like that.
No, that's not good.
The meteorologist, you see Shooter McGavin looking at the screen, and he goes, oh my God. And he taps someone, and he's like, it's happening. And you see the storm coming together, okay? A great camera shot goes into the camera of what he's looking at, and it flies into the real storms, and then it comes down onto the boat. Like, it's unreal.
Oh, cool.
And you see the waves and the ocean and what it would look like in a storm like this.
Yeah. How'd they get that shot?
Oh, it's not, they CGI'd it.
Yeah.
But it looked like, the idea of it's like really cool. So, remember the woman captain that he's friends with, that our boy George Clooney's friends with? sees how bad the storm is. So she realizes and where it's at. And she knows where our boy's at. She starts panicking. She starts calling him, trying to get through. Andrea Gale, God's sakes, Billy, come in. She's freaking out now. All right. You see him back to his point of view. They're riding through the waves. He's trying to answer, but it's like he realizes it's her, but it's like all choppy, right? And he's like, Linda, I don't know if you can hear me, but he gives her where her coordinates are. He goes, we're headed west. She goes and she looks at it, and she's like, Billy, you're headed right to it. Get out of there. But he can't hear. It's like coming for him. It's coming in like, get that, Bill.
Oh no!
Right? She's like, turn around, Billy. She's like crying, Sam. Billy, can you hear me? Because it's her friend. Billy, you're headed to the middle of the monster. It cuts out, and she's like, ah, like she's freaking out, right? You see the antenna. Mark Wahlberg looks up. The antenna is broken on their ship. That's why the radio's not working. So, cut back to our girl. This scene almost got me too. You see her panicking, and I was like, damn, I bet they have the recording of this. And it's her calling Mayday for them as she's crying.
Yeah.
Mayday, the Andrea Gale, like, please. Like, you know what I mean? And like, she names all the men on board because she knows, like, she's like, yo, go get these men. I know these men. Oh, got me. Because it was like, damn, that shit was real. So he cut back to the boys are in the chopper. All right, we got our boys in the chopper. They get that call.
And they're already out.
They're already out.
Yeah.
All right. They get the coordinates, and they're like, fuck, those boys are headed into hell. And they find out they're from Gloucester, and they're like, it's always the Gloucester boys. Right? So they turn around, they tell the people that the other 3 people they just saved, and they go, yo, we're going to drop you guys off, and then we have to go save these sword fishermen. All right? It's like, damn, that must have really happened, bro, because that's what I'm like, these other people would remember these guys saving their lives because they would have said that. They'd have been like, hey, we have to drop y'all off and try to go save some other people.
Wow.
Like, that's why I'm like, damn, I got to read this book because I bet the book really goes into like, but it's like the details got to be somewhat accurate, right?
Well, they must have interviewed everyone involved.
That's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
So, also, I can't believe, like, damn, bro, these Ghost Guard niggas are brave, fool. Because to say some shit like that, like, we just saved y'all, we're about to go save some other people.
But people like that, those are the type of people who go like bungee jumping and stuff. Like they're made for that.
They're made for it.
Right?
But it's like instead of bungee jumping, you're gonna do it like to save people.
That's awesome. You're using your skill for good.
Yeah, that no fear for greatness. Yeah, because other people can't do it.
Well, yeah. It's also if you have that no fear, like I have to live on the edge. Why not use it for helping people?
Yeah. So, we see Mark Wahlberg, right, and he starts climbing up the rig during the storm trying to fix the antenna because they need the antenna. And we cut back to it. We see the Coast Guard people, and they get all the people they just saved, the 3 vacation people, down to the boat, right? This Coast Guard boat, and they realize they're low on fuel. They have to re-up.
Yeah.
Okay, but they're in the air already. All right. So you see Wahlberg trying to fix the antenna. He's holding on for dear life, and then a wave knocks him down to the boat. So he falls hard. Bam! He lands on the boat, right? And then he almost slides right off, like right through the rail, and he fucking catches it, like, and now he's hanging on the side of the boat. Okay, pulls himself back up, and when he finally claws back up, he's like, huh. He looks up, the antenna gets blown away. So he's like, fuck, right? Comes back up to the captain deck. He's like, Skip, it's gone. No antenna, no radio. And the captain's like, we're in the 19th fucking century. He goes, Skip, we should have called it quits and turn around. He said, we should call it quits and turn around. He goes, what you think? And Mark Wahlberg's like, no, like the skipper looks at Mark Wahlberg and goes, I think we should call it quits and turn around. What do you think? And he's like, well, I think you got one hell of a boat, Captain. He goes, all right, Gloucester, we're coming home. Right then you see the anchor from the boat. It's like now swinging because the wind is blowing the thing crazy, and it smashes and breaks the window that they're in.
Oh my God.
All right. And he's like, take the wheel. And he's like, Skip, don't go. He's like, that's an order. And you see George Clooney run out. Cut back to Diane Lane. She's at her house trying to watch TV, and her TV goes out. She freaks out. She tries to call somebody. Phone lines go down. Fuck. She hops in her car because she's just trying to hear the news. She hops in her car, and she heads to like the bar. Right. You see this huge Air Force jet comes flying past the helicopter. And you see them talk to the helicopter guys. They're like, this is FF-150 of the Air Force. We're here to fill you guys up. We know you're on a rescue mission.
Wow.
All right? Sam, it's crazy how they do this in midair. So they
keep us
release in midair. So they release like a little, they can do this. They release like a little thing and it looks like a parachute, right? Like a big thing, like a funnel. And then the helicopter has like a dick. And you put it and it goes into the funnel.
Crazy.
And that's how they fuel up in midair.
Yeah.
Right? So, but you see, they're trying. They see the pole, the fuel rod come out, and you see, hasn't happened. You see what's about to happen.
Yeah.
All right. Cut back to. We see the anchor swinging like crazy. You see the captain get a blowtorch, and he climbs up to where the chain's swinging. And he's trying to fucking because the anchor's swinging around, and it's like
You can't have that.
we can't have this.
No, that's bad.
And it's just like and it's crashing into the ship and hitting shit.
Yeah, you need the ship to stay together.
Bruh. So the waves are just knocking everything off the boat. Finally, like the captain's able to fucking get the anchor loose, and all the boys cheer like, yeah, right? Cut back to the bar. Family members from the town, everyone who's connected to like they're all there.
Okay.
Obviously.
Yeah.
Obviously.
Yeah.
And they're all just fucking quiet,
What
really
else are you
quiet.
gonna do?
Yeah, you're fucking panicking.
You could be alone.
And they're just waiting to hear some news about the boats. And they're watching on the news and they hear the Andrea Gale is missing. And a rescue chopper has been dispatched. All their mouths at the same time just go. Just like that. All of them. Nobody says a word. Just like 15 people. Heavy, dog. Cut back. We see our boys on the boat celebrating, right? They're fucking cheering still that the captain got the anchor, stopped swinging around and almost killing them. Cut back to the boys in the chopper. They can't fill up. The storm's too bad. They can't fucking get the dick in the jet fuel thing, in the jet fuel pussy. Can't get it in. They go, look, we're low on fumes. We can't make it. And they go, what do we do? This is the Coast Guard flying the chopper saying, this is crazy. He goes, we have to call our own Mayday, boys. And the Air Force dudes are listening to this. And they feel bad, but they ain't nothing they can do. They go, we have to depart, gentlemen, we're sorry. They take off. The boys in the chopper, they go, we have to ditch the chopper. Mayday, mayday. This is chopper something with the Coast Guard. We're going to have to ditch the chopper. Here are our coordinates. Please hope for the best.
Jeez.
He hangs up. He looks at his men. He's like, look out for each other. Right? And they're all like, ain't nothing they can do, Sam. The chopper's going to run out of fuel. This is it. We got to ditch this motherfucking chopper. And we're also in the middle of the ocean.
Oh.
And it's a hurricane.
Yeah.
And now they can't get to.
Jesus.
They can't get to our boys now.
No.
All right. But now they got their own problems.
Yeah.
So we see our boys. They're just like getting knocked over on the winds. They're just trying to stay on the boat, right?
Yeah.
The hurricane's getting worse. Back to the chopper. The boys are like looking at each other like, yo, no matter what, stay together. No matter what, we stay together, okay? They're like, yeah. The chopper starts going down. They're like, all right, bail out, bail out. You see one jumps out, another one jumps out. They look at the guy flying because there's two of them flying. So one of them stops and looks at the other. He's like, hey, I'll fly the rest of the way. He goes, make sure you give yourself enough time to jump. He goes, I will, I promise, I'll be fine. They all jump one by one. As they're jumping, Sam, these niggas look terrified.
Of course.
Like, because you're just jumping into the ocean, bro. And it's dark.
You don't have your backup.
You have each other.
Yeah.
I mean, that's the only thing is you have each other. And you're hoping to last until. Also, we can't lose you one another because we lose one person, we might lose them forever.
Yeah.
So they all jump, you know. They get hit because it's going down and down. They get hit by a low wave, like right before the last person's about to jump, and it kind of fucks him up, and then he falls out the water. Right? He's like, Jeremy, the dude they're flying, his name's Daryl. He doesn't have enough time. No. It's too low already. So he's trying to get out, and the chopper fucking crashes. The water comes in real fast. Luckily, he has this thing right on his leg, like an air pump. Like, so he's already got air. I was like, damn, they would have that. They would be prepared for this, you know? And he's breathing through it. And he's trying to get the door open, and it won't open. And the chopper's just going down, down, down. It won't open. He bangs. The camera finally pans up, and nothing comes up. And then finally, you see these floaties like, and this nigga's like, whoa, and he's like, he's up, he's breathing, right? Like you tell, like you can pull something, and like they bring you up. He's looking around. He sees his boys because they all have these reflectors on, going on. So he's like, hey, and he swims over, and it's just three of them. And he's like, where's Mitchell? And they're like, have you seen him? And they're like, no. He goes, what about Jones? And they go, no. He goes, God damn it, man. We don't lose anybody. Right, like he's like so like, damn,
Yeah.
bro. Oh my God. So back to the boys on the boat, right? And he goes, they're trying to board up the windows that got smashed with the anchors. They're trying to board them up. And it's damn near impossible, right? And then Sully goes flying overboard. They're like, man, overboard. Luckily, he's tied. They're all tied to the boat at this point.
Okay.
They've all tied themselves. So he's just kind of dangling from the boat. And he's like, help. And then Murph grabs him and pulls him up. And then you see Bugsy go overboard. And they're like, we're lost, Bugsy. And Mark Wahlberg has to throw him a life preserver. And then he holds out one of those long hooks and like pulls him back in, you know, and they're like, they finally save, like they save Bugsy barely. Back to the Coast Guard. They finally find another one of their boys. They're like, there he is. They swim towards him. Remember the one that got hit off the boat?
Oh, yeah.
He's just he's alive, but he's fucked up. Like he's bleeding real bad, and he's kind of like this, right?
Yeah.
And they pull someone up to him. They're like, "You all right?" He's like, I can't breathe." Right? And they go, "It's all right." And they get him, and they start, and then now they got all each other. They're like, "All right, tie him up." And they're all right. Now they're looking for their other boy because they're still missing one more.
Yeah.
Right? But also like, damn fool, that level of adrenaline of like, we're finding.
Yeah,
This guy.
Well, what else are we doing? We're freaking out on the ocean anyway. But
Yeah, that's all. Like we're finding this motherfucker. We're finding him. I don't give a fuck. We either gonna die or we're gonna find him. So those are our options. So you see, back to our boys. The captain is looking at all his boys on the boat, and they're all like drenched, and they're tired, and he's kind of just staring at him. You can say like, I mean, they're just the elements. They're fighting nature.
Yeah.
You know. And he goes, boys, that's it. We can't make it. We got to turn around. And Murph's like, oh, come on, Captain. We can do it. What about our fucking catch? He goes, next time, boys. This water belongs to us. It belongs to us. Fish will gather again for the Andrea Gale. Believe that. It will be our turn. He said it'll be the turnaround of all time. All you get ready. And they're all like, okay, Cap. You know what I mean? Like, damn, like, but you tell the Cap's like, hey, but this one,
yeah, we can't.
I don't want you guys to die.
No.
You know? So we see, remember the dude with the clipboard in the beginning?
Yeah.
We see him. He comes into the bar. Everyone is quiet, like, and they're staring at him like they can't believe he just walked in. And the mom goes, well, if it was good news, he would have called. And he takes a deep breath, and he's like, the news is the helicopter had to ditch him. And Diane Lane's like, what does that mean? And he goes, it means we don't know anything. He goes, but if anyone can survive this, it's that goddamn Billy Tyne, which is the captain, right? And then Diane Lane goes, the fuck do you want? Huh? The credit for the guts to walk in here and tell us this? And he's like, I do. And the mom's like, he does deserve the credit. He did walk in. Like, he didn't just call. He fucking walked in and told us with his eyes. And then she's like, why don't you go fucking count your money? And our guys are out there risking their life for fucking fish. And then the guy goes, honey, that's the game. And she goes, bro, Diane Lane can act. She goes, oh, I hate the fucking game. I hate the goddamn game. And she runs up and starts fighting him. And then mom has to grab her. She's like, honey, I know. And she's like crying. The mom is like, because the mom knows that is the game. She's like, I know. And then the girl, Diane Lane's like, ah, like just screaming, right? Cut back to the Coast Guard. The boys finally see a boat, right?
The Coast Guard guys.
Yeah. And they're like, hey. And it's another Coast Guard. And they're like, keep a light on them. They're trying to save them.
Yeah.
Right? They start swimming towards the boat. One of them, the dude, the guy who was the captain, the guy who was flying it, who stayed last, and like who's like, we're gonna find these motherfuckers. Yeah. He's carrying the injured nigga. So everyone else is ahead, but he's swimming with another person. Yeah. You know what I mean? So they put a net on the side of the boat, and the boys grab on the net, and they get them all pulled up. But the one obviously holding the injured guy, he can't
get up.
He can't get to it. It's just too. You see him? He's swimming in a storm, right? And the captain of the boat goes, we can't get to the two men. And he goes, well, I don't give a shit. We're not leaving them. And they go, we can't get him. He goes, we're not letting two men drown. I don't care. Like, we'll figure it out, but we're not going to leave them. Bro, crazy this really happened, bro. So the captain, back to our boys, tells Bobby, I need your help. He comes up to the captain thing with George Clooney, and he goes, when I say go, you full throttle. We only got one chance to turn this fucking boat around. And then Mark Wahlberg goes, and if we don't, then what? Then we pray, Bobby. The boys are all downstairs, just like in the barracks, just like, ain't nothing they can do. It's like, well, we either can turn around or the storms, or we can't turn it around and it's too late, right? So they're driving and George Clooney goes, wait. And Mark Wahlberg's so nervous and he's like, wait. And the boys downstairs are so nervous. He's like, wait. Now! And he fucking hits it and he tries to turn the ship and they start turning. And then you gotta remember, like at this point now they're on top of a wave and now they start going so fast. Downhill, right? They're just going crazy fast. And then it fucking turns the ship, like it goes sideways and it rolls upside down. But then it rolls back over. Okay? And then they finally like look up and they're like, yeah, like they did it. They turned it around.
Yeah.
All right? They're like, we did it. You know, tell the boys downstairs. We made the turn. Your boys, we made it. They're all yelling, yeah, right? And then right there, Mark Wahlberg goes, Skip, I'm giving you my 2 weeks notice right now. This is my last trip, man. And he goes, I know, right? He goes, I'm gonna marry Christine. And we're gonna move to fucking this place and we're gonna ride fucking go-karts. That's what we're gonna do. Bro. And he goes, what do you think about that, Skip? He goes, I think that's gonna be a great life. And we're gonna make it to, all we gotta do is make it to dawn. We make it to dawn. We're out of here. And you hear them all cheering. Cut back to the Coast Guard. The injured Coast Guard is telling them like, hey man, you gotta leave me.
No.
You gotta leave me. Like, you were both gonna die. And he's like, bro, I'm not. You already know. He's like, nigga, I'm not leaving you. So shut up.
Yeah.
That's just not happening, right? He goes, look, he tells them we got one chance to grab those nets. Because they turned, like what they did was like, you see they turned the Coast Guard boat, like instead of it like, now it's like this, like a long ways. All right? And he goes, they set it up so we can grab the nets. He goes, but you gotta swim for me, man. Like, you gotta help me.
Yeah.
Right? And he was like start swimming. He's like, okay. And he's mainly swimming. And you see the other guy kind of like just kicking. Like, you know what I mean? Because he's like this. He just ain't nothing much he can do, but he's like, bro, I need some help, nigga.
Yeah.
So they're swimming. They get to it, right? They grab it. They get hit by a wave.
Oh.
They get knocked off.
Yeah.
They're like, fuck, come on. He's like, come on, Jeremy. I need you to swim, man. Help. He's like, swim again. He swims. He grabs it. They're climbing on. They reach. They get to the top. They're fucking holding on. They're like, he's about to grab. The injured one falls off. He can't, no more strength. He lets go. He goes right back into the water.
Oh.
The other Coast Guard dudes are like, hey, come on. We pull you up. Come on. Our boy looks at him. Let's go. Dives back.
Oh my God.
Bruh. Crazy, right?
Dude.
That's like a real brotherhood, though.
That is. Well, because you're risking your life all the time.
And if you do it for a stranger, one of your brothers.
Easy.
I'll do it for a stranger.
Yeah.
So he jumps back in to save him again. He gets to him. He goes, look, bro, you got to reach, man. You got to reach. We got to do this. Come on, right? And they get him back up, and they get back to the net. And this time he's pushing them, and he gets them all the way to the top. And they fucking climb overboard, and they're all like, yeah, they're all cheering, right? As they're all cheering, bro, this is what got me. As they're all cheering, our boy, the captain, he gets right back up, and he goes to dive in again. And they have to stop him. He goes, but my man's out there. Jones! And he's trying, and they have to hold him. As he's screaming, trying to dive back in the water. Bruh, I was bawling. I was like, damn, bruh. That's fucked up. He didn't even he just saved his homie. He could give a fuck. He wasn't even thinking about him. He was like, I gotta save you so we can get him. Right? Cut back to our boys. They keep going. And finally, the waves start calming down. Everything stops. And it gets calm. And it gets peaceful. And the boys are looking. And Mark Wahlberg's like, Skip, we're going to make it. And Skip's like, we're going to make it. Then the sun goes away. It gets dark again. And they all realize, they all look around, And they're like, it hits. They realize where were they, Sam?
They were in the eye of the storm.
They were in the eye of the storm. Sam, because the way it calms down, you can tell they're like, oh, we got out of it. And then, bro, the moment that gets dark again, the look on their faces is so hurtful, dog. Because not only are you in it, but you like, damn, nigga,
We're only halfway through. We're right in the middle. We're nowhere near.
We're nowhere near. We're not even like we can't get out of it.
Yeah.
That's what the truth is. Like, oh, we can't get out of this. There's just no way out of this. And then George Clooney looks at Mark Wahlberg and he goes, "She's not gonna let us out." Like talking about the hurricane. So they get right then, the waves start hitting them again. They get thrust back in the shit. Wahlberg's like, fuck, right? You see, and then Wahlberg, he's like, fuck. And then he looks up and he goes, no. It's the biggest wave you've ever seen. It's the biggest wave you've ever seen in your life. Ever. In any movie, ever. Uh-huh. And Clooney's like, because you see Mark Wahlberg immediately get scared because he's a young rook. Clooney, the exact opposite. Come on, you bitch motherfucker! Come on! Because I think I would probably be that way. Because Sam, it's like, well,
yeah,
it's me versus you then, nigga. Let's go. Let's go. Right? And he's all like, come on. He fucking full speed right at it, right? And Mark Wahlberg's like looking at him and looking all terrified. And George Clooney's just like, come on! And they're just going up and 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 up. And then you just see the boys downstairs. They're freaking out. And then it fucking, Sam, the wave just, they don't even get halfway up before it flips them over. Flips them this way. Uh-huh. And the wave just crashes down on it. And you just see nothing. And then finally, bloop, 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 the bottom of the ship comes up. Oh. All right? And the boys downstairs, water's coming in too fast. Yeah. They're like, they're trying to get out, they can't get out. Oh. Right? Clooney and Wahlberg, they're up in, the captain's thing. And remember, the windows broke out. Yeah. So there's a little air pocket right at the top. So they're like, you see Murph is looking at the boys. They're like, we gotta get out. They're all trying to find a way out downstairs. Sully is trying to get out, but he's the one up top, like this one, and it's nothing's opening, right? The Jamaican dude's trying to find another door, and it's not working. The water's rising, and then Murph, it's like you see Murph and the Bugsy dude kind of looking at each other, like it's like Sam, if the water's here, they're like, it's coming, like this is the ceiling, and the water's here, and then Murphy just goes, it's gonna be hard on my boy. You see, Sully is at that part, and he just kind of sits on the ladder part, and he's just like, as the water's just rising, right? He doesn't say anything. He's just breathing. Cut back to the captain. He goes, Bobby. He looks at Mark Wahlberg. He goes, I'm sorry I got you in this. And then Bobby's like, you made the right call, Cap. We had to try. Captain's like, we were so close. And then Mark Wahlberg goes, it was a hell of a fight, though, huh? We fought. Skipper, he smiles. He's like, yeah, we did. Let's get out of here, huh? And Mark Wahlberg's like, yeah. So they both go to swim out, and George Clooney pushes Mark Wahlberg out, and Mark Wahlberg goes to swim, and he kind of turns and looks, and George Clooney looks at him and just pushes himself back in the water, back into the boat. Oh. And Mark Wahlberg's like, and he swims. Sam, you know the rules. What are the rules of the sea?
You have to go down. The captain goes down with the ship.
The captain goes down with the ship, bro.
That's why you should never be a captain.
No, just be the assistant. Yeah. That's why he pushed Mark Wahlberg out, because it's like, well, you don't have to do this. Because maybe if you go out, maybe who knows? But you have no chance if you die down here with me.
Well, also, if anyone else dies, you wouldn't want to survive knowing that you captained a ship that someone died on,
No, you couldn't. You couldn't live like that.
That'd be awful.
Those are your men. So Mark Wahlberg swims up. Just him in this beautiful shot of just him in the middle of the ocean and just in a storm. And he's just, he's just like, you can tell he's just like a man who's like at peace too. Not even like.
Yeah, what else are you going to do?
You're just at peace. And he looks and he sees the ship going down, and you see the Andrea Gale just, and our boy floating. And he's just looking right at peace. And you hear a voiceover, and it's Mark Wahlberg's voice. And he goes, Christina? Can you hear me? I'm talking to you, baby. Do you know how much I love you? I loved you the moment I saw you. I love you now and forever. No goodbyes, only love. As he just floats to the sea. Fade to black.
Oh my God.
Bruh. Next day, a beautiful, calm ocean. You see a chopper out looking for him. And you see the Coast Guard boys, and they're all sad. And you hear the news go, it's been a week since everyone we've lost. And you hear the man that they lost from the Coast Guard, and you hear all the men that that was lost on the Andrea Gale. And they have officially today called off both searches. All right? Cut to the church and the town. Whole town's there. Everybody. You see pictures of all the boys like in the town when they were young and like, you know what I mean? Mm-hmm. And the other captain goes up. Remember the lady? Mm-hmm. And she goes, I knew Billy Tyne. I didn't know his crew personally. But any man who sailed with him was a better man for it. And she says all the men's names. She goes, may you all rest easy in fair wind and calm seas. For those left behind, the vast unmannered grave for those lost at sea is no consolation prize because it can't be visited. There's no headstone. We can only visit them in our hearts and our dreams. And they say fishermen suffer from a lack of dreams. Well, we will dream for them. To these men, sleep well and good night. Cut to the wall from the beginning of the movie. You see the year 1990, whatever, when these men died, and you see all their names. Like, for real, on the real wall. Like, it's a real place, you know? Cut back to Diane Lane, and she's sitting on the dock with the mom. And she looks at the mom. She's like, yeah, sometimes I'll be asleep. And then all of a sudden, there he is. And I'll see that big old smile. You know that smile he has. And the mom just starts crying. And I'll say, hey, Bobby, where have you been? And he won't tell me. He just says, I'll always love you, Christina. I love you now and forever. No goodbyes, only love. Then he's gone. She goes, but every time he goes, he's always so happy. So I know he has to be okay, right? And the mom's like, I love your dream, honey. And like hugs her. You see the water. And you see the other captain, the homie, George Clooney's homie, right? And you hear the speech George Clooney gave in the beginning of the movie as she's pulling out. And, you see this person, and you see the lighthouse, and you see his son, and she waves at the sun, and you hit the part where the birds come by, and she sees the birds, and she's just like trying not to cry. And then you hear, and then she hits the open sea, and then you hear, and then you realize you're a goddamn sword boat captain. Is there anything better in the world? And you see her smile. The perfect storm. This film is dedicated to the 10,000 Gloucester men who have died at sea since 1623.
Jeez.
Crazy, isn't it? Isn't it?
That's insane.
Oh, we gotta go.
Oh, we gotta go.
Did you like it?
I did.
What's your favorite part?
Oh, the part where the guy jumped back in the water to get his man when he fell down.
Yeah, that was my favorite too.
Yeah.
Insane.
Loved it.
I love you. We do have to rush. I hate that we have to rush the ending, but we love you guys. Hope
love
you
you
enjoyed the
guys.
movie. We will see you soon. Be Mafia out.